You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the...
The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Listen here, this is a fact of life. I be rapping like Nat Turner came back to life. Grab Donald Trump by the pussy, he ain't acting right. I never run from a conflict, I be glad to fight. It's a very cold world that we living in. Somebody please tell Elizabeth you're not an Indian. You just trying to con them people to get the benefit. Just another immigrant, stealing from the Indians. That's some punk ass shit and that's too lame. Now we finna step over to Andrew Yang. And you a sucker, you could never speak for black folks. Fake ass pandemic, trying to get the black vote. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You know your boy be high off sativa. Kamala wasn't popping, so we said bye, Felicia. She ain't had a right policy. We ain't trying to meet her. Y'all can take Biden too. Bye. We don't need him. We don't need Roland Martin or that coon Al Sharpton. Didn't need Cory Booker from the start, man. I don't fuck with police and no snitch. You know I'm coming with the heat when I spit it. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. If you ever go to court and this is your luck, try not to get fucked by Benjamin Crump. I know it's hard. You and go is hard. But who the fuck is Amy Cloak? Put her picture up on the bullseye and start throwing darts. People cut our organs out our bodies, that's a stolen heart. They can't save us from the flood like Noah's Ark. Black lives always matter, we finna go for ours. So then we savages, we don't need to pot the piss. Mike Bloomberg can suck dick with that stop and frisk, bitch. You ain't speaking for us, we don't know you. Bernie Sanders, they get your funky ass on too. The Democrats don't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Republicans can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. A bitch ass nigga can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. You coon ass niggas can't speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me.
I'm talking about Shawty going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it means nothing. Nothing about a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Like the seven no man. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But commercials say I never said that.
Greetings, Black family. This is a special edition we're going to be having the Republican debates, presidential debates tonight. Greetings, Dr. from the Mile High Income City. We're joined with our West Coast correspondent, Dr. Sankoris, Dr. Smith, and
yeah, greetings to you.
Greetings. So I'm just waiting on them to get started, Shabaka. So while we're waiting, just words for the people about this crap that's about to happen.
Right. Oh, okay, so as you know, Doug Christie dropped out.
Yeah, Krispy Kreme Crispy dropped out. Great news.
Yeah, that is great news. You know what I'm saying? You know, he dropped out. You know what I mean? And then we already know, man, what's getting ready to happen here. You know, it's just part of setting the stage, you know, to get the dump back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so therefore, I hate to say, is that they probably are going to select a dump again. Okay. And what he's doing is that he's trying his best, you know, to get reselected, you know, reelected or what have you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's downright sad, you know what I'm saying? It really is, you know. So they're going on with these diatribes now, you know what I mean, and what have you. And so it ain't nothing that Biden could do because, you know, he's too old, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion. Kamala, you know,
won.
Who won?
Biden. He's 81 years old. He'll be 82 around the election time.
Okay, you said he's 83 years old, or is he 81?
He's 81. He'll be 82 around the time of the election, Shabbat.
Okay, so and if he goes the full 4 years, he'd be 86. No, for the 2028 situation. Okay, so therefore, as you know, his son Hunter is in the news, and
I thought the debate was on. I didn't know you were just doing a show.
Yeah, I got the debate. Yeah.
So, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. But I'm going back on mute. I just stopped it because I thought he was running the debate.
Okay, and then of course, Christie dropped out, so it's pretty much boiling down to Haley and Ron DeSantis, and I don't think that the dumpster is going to be there tonight. But what's going to happen is, ladies,
he's having a separate town hall. This debate is taking place in Iowa. The Iowa caucuses are going on right now.
Right. Okay. And so then, of course, is that they are trying to set the stage to get their momentum going up, and then, of course, Hunter Biden is in the news making a shocking appearance at a contempt hearing. So we don't know if it's contempt of Congress or if it's contempt of court.
Let's see.
To comply, Trump's family members, Don Trump Jr., he did not defy a congressional subpoena. He showed up multiple times for multiple depositions for several hours. In doing so, Hunter Biden broke the law. He did so deliberately. You did so flagrantly. You showed up on the Hill, on the Senate side, the day of that congressional subpoena to defy it and spit in the face of this committee. That's what you did. The question the American people are asking us is, what is Hunter Biden so afraid of? Why can't you show up for a congressional deposition here for a political stunt? This is just a PR stunt to you. This is just a game that you are playing with the American people. You're playing with the truth.
Shabaka, it's
Hunter Biden wasn't afraid to sell access to Joe
today.
Biden to the highest bidder.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Happy birthday to Sister Rashida Strober, the dark-skinned activist. And may she have many, many more. Young woman keeps herself in shape. And I'm scared of her,
Yeah.
With our foreign adversaries. But Hunter Biden,
because as you know, she'll get out there and run her 10 miles. Yeah. You see what I mean? And therefore, and one thing about exercising the way Sister Rashida Strober does, it will keep you young, you know what I'm saying? That it will do. And once again, I'm going through here, sorting junk out. And then also, too, it looks like that Nikki Haley
in this room today,
and her debate is pushing a law and order campaign. And how history repeats itself, because there was another person in the year 1968 who ran on a law and order campaign, and his name was Tricky.
To go before Congress. Go.
Yeah, Tricky Dick. Yes, sir. And it's not illegal if the president does it. If the president does it, that makes it legal. No good bastard. You know what I'm saying? So, he was not even supporting the bullshit that he aggravate or advocating, I should say.
If Congress issues a subpoena, you show up. Period.
So it looks like they are charging him with
this is not a responsibility we take lightly. It brings no joy for us.
Okay, he's being charged with contempt of court.
And must be held accountable in the same way anybody else.
Oh, okay. He's at a contempt hearing. Okay.
To do so. And my last message to you, Hunter Biden: you play stupid games, you win stupid fights.
Okay.
Will the gentlelady yield for a question? Or will the gentlelady yield? Will my friend yield from South Carolina? I do want to commend the gentlelady who was the only Republican who stood up and voted to hold in contempt Republican members of the House who blatantly and categorically refused to comply with subpoenas that came from the bipartisan January 6th committee. I would like to ask my friend, Ms. Mace from South Carolina, whether she's aware of all the case law which says that the committee has to engage in good faith interaction with the witnesses they've called, and they're supposed to arrive at a solution. Okay. And what do you think about the fact that the chairman on multiple occasions gave this witness the opportunity for the full committee, and he agreed to that?
Is it really a congressional law? And I know with your constitutional law background, you know exactly what that means. And he should have showed up. And because of your vote and because of your statements, you should be voting to hold this man in contempt of Congress today, right now. If you're going to be consistent on your own policies and your own words.
Gentlelady's time's expired. Chair recognizes Mr. Moskowitz for 5 minutes.
When does the RNC start? Like the fourth time.
So
I'm waiting, Lady Che.
I'm listening.
If you can find a live of it, that would be great. But I can't find a live of it right now. This is the only thing I can find right now. They keep talking about Hunter Biden.
To come in front of the committee.
When was it supposed to start?
Here.
It's supposed to start at 7 o'clock.
Afraid. In fact, for some reason,
I'll be right back.
Multiple occasions invited the witness to come on TV.
Yeah, there it is right now. And that's that garbage I'm currently looking at.
Just since I've been governor, working up all energy for production.
Federal gas tax. People could barely eat, and you're talking about a fucking federal gas tax.
I know, it's just ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm waiting on this computer to unfreeze. It froze open.
Okay.
Restart this mode.
Okay, so therefore, ladies and gentlemen, when you go out and vote this year, make sure that you are voting tangibles and not the continued benign neglect, black people.
Yes.
Because, like I said, with me being 60 plus, man, I'm getting sick of seeing the same prepackaged bullshit every 4 years. And I'm just sick of it. And then they get these black politicians, who's believing in something that don't believe in them. You'll say, and that's just the crux of it.
Damn it, computer, what the hell? Sorry, Spuck, I'm gonna have to restart the computer. Just hold it down in the studio. I'll be right back.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a pause here for a minute, getting our computer algorithms together out of our Denver office. Okay, hey, what's cracking, Jay Militant? Yeah, I got CNN on right now, Jay Militant, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at this circus, man, it's crazy. Yes, sir, I found it, you know what I mean? And it's straight garbage, man, And then, they're going to come up here with this kumbaya shit once again. And right now, we should be getting our STEM programs together, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for our black youth, is because they got some rough roads ahead. You know what I mean? And so we're resetting the algorithms right here. It's because... let's be real. Silicon Game Valley doesn't dig this truth, Jay Militant. You know what I'm saying? They really don't. But guess what? We don't care. We owe to these babies and the generations after us. Yeah, it's garbage, man. It's straight out garbage, man. And if I were known any better, man, it's a damn comedy that you got on right there. And what have you. So I'm hoping I don't have too much background noise until Brother Che gets back with us. And then why don't you join us, Jay Militant, if you can. And I think Brother Paris could send you the link. And it's 46 degrees here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying this cool time because in about 2.5 months, it's going to start getting warm out here. And then, too...
I just it's freezing in the house for me anyway, but it's gonna be like that. But it's like being in a house with no heat is like being in a glorified tent.
Oh yeah, Lady J, and it's real cool where I'm at 46 degrees. I could just imagine.
We're at 28.
Okay.
This shit, so.
Wow, so which means it's twice as cold where you at from where I'm at.
Yeah, like it's fucking cold. And I don't have no way to keep my myself warm.
Right. I've seen Sloppy Christie jump out earlier. Yeah, Jay Militant. Yeah. He got his fat ass up out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. And you're waiting on the rain to come off the coast of California, okay? And it is semi-overcast out here in the desert. And I'm southeast of you, Jay Militant. Yeah, so I know, man, where you at, man. It's real cool, And the coldest winter I ever spent was summer in San Francisco, to quote Mark Twain.
Okay, y'all, I'm back. Thank you for holding.
Oh yeah.
Jay, feel free to jump on. I'll send you the link in Messenger.
Yeah, and Jay Militant, we appreciate him right there. We know he likes those 49ers, the gold rush and what have you. And, we might be seeing them out here, man, in Las Vegas, man, in a few weeks, man, when they play the Super Bowl out here. Okay, and it appears that Brother Che is about to pull up some footage right here.
Well, he's going to put up that.
Nikki Haley.
He's going to do.
Okay. And then, of course, Nikki Haley,
would pay the same.
Okay, and you got Dana Bash up there with her dope smoking self. It's because I remember Dana Bash was in Denver, Colorado when they decriminalized Jay there. And Dana Bash was fucked up.
Oh, yeah. They're somehow responsible stewards of the economy or are in any way.
Oh, looks like CNN is doing it.
Cartoon News Network right there. Okay.
And again, for those watching right now, please do me one last favor before we get into this. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. That's the best way to support these live streams. And I would really appreciate it. It costs you nothing. Just please hit the subscribe button and you can catch other live streams like this one.
Yeah, man. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button to Front Line Blacc News as well, too.
That's right.
Yeah, and there's Christy's fat ass right there.
And I'm watching this. We're watching CNN.
And the reason, too, why I crumb bum on Christy is because, okay, and
to participate.
Yeah, like he's on the internet.
Especially here in Iowa before the first contest begin next week. So in choosing topics, we focused on the issues important to Republicans. Let's bring out the candidates now.
Public plans.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
You can't roll it back.
The
panties.
Yes, you got background.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Please welcome former South Carolina Governor.
It's quieter when we should be.
Do I still
I
have
know
background?
Nikki Haley right there.
Yeah, you got background.
And she's a white supremacist.
Yep.
And doesn't want to talk about slavery.
I'm a warlord right there, man. Let's go ahead and sign up for it.
Okay, do I still have background?
I've left. Like, I'll go on mute and I've left the room.
And rebuttals in 15 seconds for clarifications. Timing lights will remind you when time is expiring.
We also remind our audience here in the Cheslow Auditorium at Drake University to be respectful so the candidates can hear the questions and can hear each other.
Just hours ago, the Republican field narrowed once again. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie ended his bid for the presidency. So, with one
and later for his fat ass, DeSantis looks creepy as fuck. Keep your kids away. I agree with you on that there, Jay Militant. And we approve of the message, sir. You know what I'm saying?
That message up the whole time.
Yeah.
And we will float around every time you drop something, but take what you ask.
And then also, too, I wanted to let it.
I'm just gonna leave it there so that speaks for me, okay? Now it's up in the sunset. Or something nobody even knows over here.
We've delivered huge victories in the state of Florida, things that Republicans have been asking for a generation. I'm also the only one running that has beaten the left time and time again. We beat the Tea Party on universal school choice. We beat Soros on crime. We beat Fauci on COVID. We beat the Dems on election integrity. And I beat the left.
And by the way, we did some research on Fauci's stinking ass, and Fauci's going to be facing some charges, from what I understand. It's unconfirmed. Yeah, for that bullshit. And then also, too, we have votes
need to be corrected. This is somebody that wrote in her book that Hillary Clinton inspired her to first run for office. I remember Hillary denigrating people on the Republican side as deplorables. We don't need a candidate who's going to look down on middle America. We've had enough of that. I'm the only one that's going to be able to lead this country's revival. I'm asking for your support, and I won't let you down.
Governor Haley, a response? Well, I think this is a time that we know that we need a new generational leader. We have watched our country be in disarray. We see the world on fire, and we need someone who's had executive experience. I've been a 2-term governor that took a double-digit unemployment state and turned it into an economic powerhouse. I was at the UN. I dealt with Russia,
Lady
China.
K, they all are deplorable.
I like that word, deplorable.
A lot of lies that have happened. There are at least a couple of dozen.
I like that deplorable.
So what we're going to do is, rather than having someone tell you all these lies, you can go to DeSantisLies.com and look at all of those. There's at least 2 dozen lies that he's told about me, and you can see where fact checkers say exactly what's going to happen and exactly why it's wrong. So it will cover the fact that he's only mad about the donors because the donors used to be with him, but they're no longer with him now. And that's because he's upset about the fact that his campaign is exploding. You're going to see the fact that he has switched his policies multiple times, and we'll call that out tonight. But every time he lies, Drake University, don't turn this into a drinking game because you will be overserved by the end of the night.
Well, I think this is interesting because you can actually go to RonDeSantis.com because Nikki Haley has this tactic. If you hold her accountable to her record, first she'll say, I never said that. Well, one good rule of thumb, if she says she's never said
is right, Jay Militant, to both them scrubs up there.
I put it up there because I'm going to bounce back and forth because he brought it up. It works for everything.
The reality is, Nikki Haley is not somebody that has been willing to stand in and fight on behalf of conservatives. You know, she ran for governor saying she was going to do universal school choice, and she caved to the teachers union. She didn't deliver that. In Florida, I delivered the largest expansion of school choice in the history of the United States. I beat the teachers union. And you know what the results are? When she was governor of South Carolina, she was rated 50th in education, dead last. You know where Florida is under my watch? #1 in the nation.
How?
And then also too, something about this governor, DePanties. He was a JAG officer, you know, he's not no combat veteran, you know, he was a JAG officer, a Vietnam vet told me that, you know, so which means is that, you know, he was a damn pencil pusher.
Yeah.
That trick didn't engage in no kind of combat.
Maybe or something? What is that? Where's JAG cover? It's like Air Force Navy or something. What is that?
That's the Air Force.
Air Force.
Yeah, you know, DeSantis, he
used to watch this show.
He used to be that show called Bag. Yeah.
NCIS. I can't remember.
That was before that.
No, NCIS. No, NCIS is
that's what
IS is intelligence service.
Yeah. But
naval. Yeah, wait a minute. NCIS stands for Naval Criminal Intelligence Service.
Yeah. I was watching the show. That's why I was asking. I was like, I should know this.
And
carry on with the debate, push play.
Yeah, but JAG was around in the 90s. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just a little show with them.
Representing Florida, he said that he promised not to raise the debt limit when he got to D.C. Yet he raised the debt limit by hundreds of billions of dollars. He used to support Ukraine. Supported Ukraine when President Obama was in office. Now he's trying to copy Trump and saying that he no longer supports Ukraine and doesn't want to give foreign aid anymore. He also goes and says that he wants to talk about me insulting Iowans. Iowans know when you're telling a joke, but the fact that he's only running in one state is not the way you win president. I'm running in all states, but he should tell Iowans why he authored legislation to ban the renewable fuel standard that's so important to Iowans' economy, and the fact that he co-sponsored 5 different pieces of legislation to get rid of it. And also, then he also said he would never do anything with Social Security, yet he voted 3 times to raise the retirement age of Social Security. So if you're going to talk about what you said and what you did, I think you've got your own explaining to do rather than telling lies about.
Thank you, Governor. We're going to get to a lot of these issues in the debate. Governor Haley, Governor Christie dropped out of the race just a few hours ago. He said the most important issue is, quote, the character of the candidate. Governor Christie also said he ran.
That is a debate question.
President Donald Trump. Do you believe Donald Trump has the character to be president again?
Well, I think the next president needs to have moral clarity. I think you need to have moral clarity to understand that it's taxpayer money, not your own money. I think you need to have moral clarity to understand that when you're dealing with dictators in the world, that we always have to fight for democracies and human rights and protecting Americans and preventing war.
You care about human
and
rights.
so when you look at Donald Trump, I have said,
this ambiguous
president. I agree with a lot of his policies, but his way is not my way. I don't have vengeance. I don't have vendettas. I don't take things personally.
Okay, Governor of South Carolina, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Yes,
She doesn't even believe that shit that she's talking right there. And really, it's not fucking intelligence.
Is he not up for debate? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
you mean Bad Salami?
Where the fuck is it at?
He didn't qualify.
Why?
Because he doesn't have enough support. And that's why they got rid of Uncle Tim Scott Coon's ass, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they only, because I think.
Might well cancel his game, too, like Christy did.
He needs to drop out, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, it's not even like that. And you can't even show up to the primary. And so this is what we're left with.
Well, this is what you're left with on the Republican side of the ticket, Lady J. Okay, because the Democrats are going to have a convention in Chicago and all.
And we want to make that perfectly clear.
Absolutely.
So point to watching it if it's like, because old boy Vivek made a Vivek.
It's a damn comedy to me.
He said Trump go pick, or that old boy DeSantis is going to join her shit, and they're going to run against Trump. And you think that's possible? Because the way it's looking, obviously the algorithm wants you to vote in the fucking lane of Trump.
These idiots don't even have the approval rating of the dump, as in human shit.
That one digital poll. I say that digitally because who are they really asking? Where are these polls really coming from? These numbers are so weird. So it's like they don't make no sense.
They poll like 600 people or some shit, and they say, "Oh, well, out of this 600 people,
surely somebody who got a fucking
vote, or that's what they said they were going to vote on." It's a small sample.
I think it's all fucking.
It's usually people that are devoted to whatever party.
It's all made up. I think these motherfucking polls just like a thing. Like none of them really make sense. But how did they get from all the way those low ass numbers last week to like right here?
He must have got more than 10% because that's probably the only reason why she was able to debate. Because when we looked at that sheet, DePanties was behind the dump, and he was hella behind the dump. I mean, the dump was like 40% points ahead of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And then Nikki Haley just had stated that that the Chinese are supposed to be taking Taiwan, okay, and so the U.S. is committed to protecting Taiwan. And
that means war, Shabaka.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, is that war has always been big business for the United States. Mm-hmm. Look at World War II. World War II brought the United States out of the Depression. When you go on the West Coast, when you go on the West Coast, you see all the shipyards up there in the Bay Area, up there around Seattle. And then when you go to Southern California, that's where McDonnell Douglas is and all the aircraft industry is. You see what I mean?
Yep.
And then you had a lot of black GIs that died. You had a lot of black Rosie the Riveters. You see what I mean? So, I mean, if we really look at it, black family, what the fuck should we care? We should be protecting ourselves.
That's right. Let's let the buffoonery continue.
Oh yeah, and I went ahead and turned down my television set so we wouldn't minimize on background noise. I think it's time for a new generational leader that's going to go and make America proud again. That's what I'm going to try and do.
Instead of great again, it's proud again. What are y'all so proud of? What is so great?
Well, you see, as you so eloquently put it, Brother Che, is that this is white supremacy gaslighting the damn nation with this bullshit. Okay, they're gonna band together. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna be still standing up here, ass scratching, yassa bossing, and what have you. You see what I mean? And we need to have some solidarity on a Pan-African front throughout the diaspora here in the U.S. and on the continent, and get rid of the fucking colonizers. See. Period. Yeah, and the reason being with that part is because they're going to the continent, getting our raw materials to kill us. They're getting our raw materials, you know, from the continent to be once again used as pawns. You know what I mean? And it's bad. It really is bad. Now I want to bring up some history here. And Jay Militant, please correct me if I'm wrong, because, you know, I don't have proper access, you know, to data. Okay, when the dump, as in human shit, and we want to make that perfectly clear. When he was in office, there was a black sergeant that was killed in Niger, okay, U.S. Army. And that's the brother who the dump, you know, made that derogatory comment to, saying, quote unquote, he knew what he was signing up for. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When these guys got ambushed, wasn't a black sergeant taken off about a mile away from where the white boys was laid out at?
Yep.
Okay. Now, could it been that there was making a statement with that? In other words, you know, you over here supporting the dump, but you look like us. And we got to make use, because in any type of situation like that, you got to get rid of the collaborators first. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's cool.
So you got to get rid of the collaborators first. Now, another thing that you got to look at is Stinky Bird, you know, Elon Musk. Okay, he's a bore. Okay. And I get tired of these white people telling us that this boar is an African, which he is not. Okay, he's Dutch. You see what I mean? And I don't understand why we as a people sit up here, spit on our heritage, and get up here and call ourselves Americans, when in actuality, you ought to still be calling yourselves Master Charlie's house niggas. And I hate to use that scenario. I hate to put it out there like that, but it is what it is. Okay, it's because you can see the division within the black community. You know, that another content creator has mentioned on his platform, and we're not going to say his name, is because he's not mentioning us. So we're not going to mention him, but however, the brother did speak some truth. You see what I mean? And what have you, you see? And then the sad part.
Get back to us about it, otherwise we're going to be here all night. We got to.
Okay, say that again, Brother Che.
Let me get back to the video.
Sure.
What is your response to Chris Christie? Do you believe Donald Trump has the character to be president again? Well, I'm running because I'm the guy that's going to be able to engineer a comeback for this country. I appreciated what President Trump did, but let's just be honest. He said he was going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for it. He did not deliver that. He said he was going to drain the swamp. He did not deliver that. He said he was going to hold Hillary accountable, and he let her off the hook. He said he was going to eliminate the debt, and he added $7.8 trillion to the debt. So we need to deliver and get this stuff done. And I think the difference between Nikki Haley and me, I listened to that litany of stuff. I debated the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. I thought he lied a lot. Nikki Haley.
Man, you motherfuckers didn't put on no debate. You sons of bitches put on a circus.
That's exactly what it was.
Republicans, you need somebody that is going to be in there and fight for you. And Nikki Haley, anytime the going gets tough, anytime people come down, she caves. When you need someone standing and fight for you, don't look for Nikki Haley. You won't be able to find her if you had a search warrant. Thank you, Governor Haley.
Just like a bunch of I dealt with Russia, China, Iran, North Korea every day. No one ever said I caved. I defended America. But I'll also say this. This is not a time where you have to have pettiness. I wish Donald Trump was up here on the stage. He's the one that I'm running against. He's the one that I wish would be here. He needs
Fox
to be
having a town hall meeting with the dump on right now.
that he allowed us to
Hey,
have
Jay
8
Militant, hey
trillion.
man, could you stream that there to us, man? Okay.
Yeah, I was live on Fox, but then I was talking about Biden.
Yeah.
Biden.
And then also too, Jay Militant, I'm gonna put a question out there to you, brother. I know you're a 49ers fan and bang bang the 49er gang. Okay, is that we're talking about upgrading this platform right here, Jay Militant, and just want to know, man, if you would like to be a contributor to it, sir. Okay, we're waiting on Brother Jay's response with it.
Yeah, that's the
okay.
same.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And do you got the town hall meeting with the dump on it, Brother Che? Now let's check out the orange dude.
I'm going to pull that up.
Okay. And then keep in mind, we don't support the orange dude, but we just want to see what lies and game that he's coming with. You know what I'm saying? House oversight votes to send resolution holding Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress. Well, let Hunter Biden go on and smoke his dope, you know what I'm saying? And he's got issues, you know what I mean, and what have you. And
3 days for Israel. And if you would have listened to what I said at the United Nations, a 2-state solution wasn't something that was possible because Israel would always come.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go up here to my TV set here, folks, to see if I can get the dump up on Fox. Okay, Jay Militant says the dump, as in human shit, and we want to make that perfectly clear. It's having a town hall meeting. Okay, so we're gonna try to get that there on mainstream television. Okay, now I'll be back in the studio momentarily.
Against the shutdown, saying if we shut down because of all of these priorities that we've been working on for the last year. So Marjorie Taylor
the fact that he didn't deal with China when it came to stealing intellectual property, the fact that they gave us COVID, the fact that they've gone and continued to put up Chinese police stations and continue to threaten our military. He didn't do enough to make sure that we were really standing with our friends and doing some other things. What we need is a leader that's not looking at 4 years and 8 years. We need a president that's looking at 20 and 30 years because I want my kids to.
I can assure you Donald Trump is looking at 20 and 30 years.
Debt, one where they can read, one with secure borders, one where we have law and order, and one where America is strong.
Thank you. With all due respect, you know, for her to single out Donald Trump on China, and look, I think he could have been tougher on him 100%. When Nikki Haley was governor of South Carolina, she was the #1 governor in America for Republicans of bringing China into her state. She wrote a love letter to the ambassador saying that they were a great friend. She's on video saying China's a friend. She had a business, Chinese business, 5 miles from a military base. There's a video of her on the website right in front of a Chinese flag. Works for them now. So that was her #1 achievement as governor, was bringing China into the state of South Carolina. So you say you're going to look 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Why wasn't she doing that then when people were raising the red flags about it? In Florida, I banned China from buying land in our state and we kicked them out of our university. That's what you need to be doing.
We're going to talk about China in a little bit. I want to talk about the economy, which according to a recent Des Moines Register poll shows that the economy is the top issue for caucus goers here. So Governor Haley, the rate of inflation is down. Prices, though, are still high, and Americans are struggling to afford food, cars, and housing. What is the single most important policy that you would implement as president to make the essentials in Americans' lives more important? I think we have to acknowledge that Republicans and Democrats have both done this. I mean, the fact that they've done all of this wasteful spending, they did a $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill that expanded welfare, that's now left us with 80 million Americans on Medicaid, 42 million Americans on food stamps.
That brought us the fastest recovery of the G7.
I think it's time we have an accountant in the White House. We have to have someone that respects taxpayer dollars. And we'll start by clawing back $100 billion of unspent COVID dollars that are still out there. We'll go in, instead of 87,000 IRS agents going after middle America, we'll go after the hundreds of billions of dollars of COVID.
She just said was like money that's
of our budget is
borrowing, cut out the credit cards. I had to balance a budget as governor. You have to balance a budget every day. Why is Congress the only group that refuses to balance a budget? We'll stop the spending, we'll stop the borrowing, we'll eliminate the pet projects and the earmarks, and I'll veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID levels. And then we want to make sure that we allow the middle class to breathe. We're going to eliminate the federal gas and diesel tax in this country and cut taxes on the middle class and simplify those brackets. And then we want to make the small business tax cuts permanent. They made small business tax cuts temporary. Small businesses are the heartbeat of America. We need to prove it by making those tax cuts permanent.
Every answer is give more money to corporations. Every single answer, and they're like, but don't worry, we'll help regular people by eliminating the gas tax, which is like 2 pennies per gallon.
And that's what I would bring. I've spoken with Iowans, visiting all 99 counties, and also folks all across this country. The American dream is slipping away. People are working hard. They're getting the most out of their God-given ability. They're doing everything right, and they're falling further and further behind. Trying to afford a new home today, your monthly mortgage payment would probably be twice as much as what it would have been if you were starting out 5 years ago. We have to make the economy work for those folks. Yes, I'm going to battle the spending. In Florida, you look, we have the national debt clock going up to $34 trillion. I see it. If you did a debt clock for the state of Florida, it would be counting down because we've paid down 25% of our state debt just since I've been governor. We're going to open up all energy for production because that will be deflationary. Nikki Haley, when she was governor, she promised she would never do the gas tax. Then she tried to raise the gas tax on hardworking South Carolinians. Here's the thing. We need to fly a flag of bold colors, carrying the banner, putting the American people first. Not the failed warmed over corporatism of people like Nikki Haley.
Governor Haley, I want to bring you in, but because Governor DeSantis mentioned the gas tax, you do want to eliminate the federal gas tax, and that tax generated approximately $40 billion in 2022 and helps pay for road construction and repair. So how would you fix America's roads and bridges if you take that money away?
Well, first of all, bless his heart, DeSantisLies.com.
She's stupid.
I can write
DeSantis. How much is the? I'll be right back.
That we killed the gas tax multiple times. But what we said is if you want to raise the gas tax, you have to reduce the income tax by 5 times that amount. They didn't want to do it. We've killed gas tax. Talk about his economy. I think Florida had the highest property insurance in the country. Why is it that it is named the American hotspot for inflation? Why is it that his state is now known to have the highest cost of living increases? And why is it that they're saying senior citizens
was created by Netanyahu to control Gaza? They are a government. Okay, is Jay Militant still with us, folks?
Don't know.
Yeah, Jay's with us and MD's with us.
Send it to the feds. The
Okay,
feds attach a lot of
greetings to you
strings
there,
to
MD.
It's like 9 people here.
From the federal government. What they do when they add their strings is they pay for a lot
Now
of
we
things that
are
aren't roads.
streaming live on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced as well too on our Facebook like page as well.
I want the states to decide how to spend. Washington Democrats.
I went to a prize fight and the Republican debate broke out. Clown show 4.0.
We don't have no love for either of the parties. Both parties can collapse. We don't give a fuck.
I thought for a second y'all had turned liberal. MD20. No, MD, it's we're not no liberals here, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's about and that there is it's about the Gaza Holocaust is in Gaza. Rose Campbell.
It's hitting working people the most. That groceries are going up probably twice as much. But I also
but keep in mind that all these prices are getting ready to go up, and this is why we got to enhance black business, to do for ourselves. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's for real. Yes, sir. Yeah, Black First Independence. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Yep.
Baby item. diapers, wipes, strollers, cribs. We want families to be able to prosper in this country. One of the things that's causing so much problem is the
No,
breakdown.
DeSantis, you don't want families to prosper in the country. What you want, DeSantis, is white supremacy back in the country.
Easier for people to raise
Man, I get
children.
tired of motherfuckers sitting up here lying to me, man, when he ain't got to. Never state how you honestly feel.
Hall last week, you said you support a flat tax, which is a single income tax rate for every American. Under your plan, would working families pay the same tax rate as billionaires?
I would only do it if people are better off than they are now. I mean, I want people paying less taxes. Actually, if you think the last year we have numbers for, the federal government took in the highest percentage of taxes it took from the economy since World War II. And yet, they're going.
And then also, too, ladies and gentlemen, we're having some problem with some of our telemetry right here. Okay, would working families pay the same tax rate as billionaires under the DeSantis flat tax plan? The answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, is hell no. What DePanties is getting ready to engineer, ladies and gentlemen, is that billionaires don't pay no taxes at all and have the general public pay more tax, you see. So
Jesse, can you go to the debate, please? I'm in the back. I got control of everything. Just go back to the debate. I'm manning everything.
Obama administration. I was there for that. No one's been held accountable for doing that. You look at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Justice, the weaponization of federal power ends the day I become the president of the United States. There's going to be a new sheriff in town. We're going to restore the constitutional accountability that our founding fathers envisioned when they formatted the Constitution.
Raping, slave trading, pedophiles. Get the lies straight. They were founding, raping, slave trading, pedophiles is what they were.
Huddle there, waters of the United States, give me a break. So we're going to reduce the size of government, but we're also going to reduce the scope of government. And in Florida, I've actually delivered on this. Florida has the lowest percentage of state government workers per capita in the country, and the cost of our state government employees is the lowest in the country. No wonder why we're paying down debt while we're cutting taxes for people. That's the way to do it.
No, I don't think you're cutting taxes down there, Governor DePanties. I think you're full of shit and you're lying out the crack of your ass.
Now, the way I view it is, okay, and you'd exempt people, so you would pay no tax for working class people. It would only be as you get above, because I think the first through 40, 50 grand, that's just to subsist. And even some places, you can't even do that. So you would have no tax up to a certain point, and then it would just be a single rate. So if somebody makes $100,000, they pay a certain amount. If someone makes $200,000, they pay twice as much, and they pay twice as much.
Governor Haley,
I mean, first of all, you just can't trust what he says. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We don't have a grocery tax in South Carolina, and I never once raised taxes, period. But what I will tell you is it is to call into question, why did he promise he'd never raise the debt limit, and he turned around and he raised it? And then you want to go and you see one side of what he says early on, and then he changes it. So here he goes and he says that he is all for energy independence. He wants to get the EPA out of the way. Well, why did he run on the fact that he wanted to ban fracking and ban offshore drilling? Why did he go and author that legislation to eliminate the renewable fuel standard that matters so much? And why now is he suddenly coming to Iowa and saying, oh, never mind, I don't mean all of that? Why did he call Trump and say that he wanted him to stop drilling 9 miles into federal waters? Why is he now saying this? Why do you come to the people of Iowa and say one thing when you campaigned and on day 2 of your office, you banned fracking, you banned offshore drilling, you turned around and authored and led the charge on banning the renewable fuel standard? You've got to stand up for those things.
You've been beating that dead horse. That's
because it's true, Ron. It's true.
We're looking forward to be able to open up energy production, and definitely here in the Midwest with biofuels. I'm the only one that checked all the boxes from the Iowa renewable fuels standard, because I've actually visited all 99 counties. I've actually shown up to people's farms. I've sat and I've listened to people about what they're going through, how their economy is structured, and how it's important that we're producing energy here in the United States. I never want to go hat in hand like Biden is doing.
What the black community needs to do is produce energy for itself. Okay, and what I mean by that is is that you could take solar panels, put them out here in this desert, absorb this sun next summer, and then pipeline it across the nation, to the inner cities of Detroit, Chicago, and what have you.
Biden's Green New Deal and the electric vehicle mandates will save the American automobile. Thank you, Governor. This has been...
Well, the electric vehicles, that's a joke. You have to be careful with that, is because the minimum repair cost for it is going to be around $20,000.
The Border Patrol resources that are already stretched thin. Mayors across the country say their cities are being pushed to a breaking point. Governor DeSantis, former President Trump famously promised to build a wall on the southern border. We
already know black folks is being completely left out of this conversation.
Yeah, so what it is that the panties, you know what I'm saying? He's sitting up there lying. That ragged ass broad standing next to him, she's lying as well too. And
they both liars. You dump as in human shit.
But see,
he's lying and hiding Biden.
Yeah, and let Hunter go get strung out on dope. You know what I'm saying? They put that shit in the black community. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the backlash of it right there. You see what I mean? They never cared about the black community.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So it's up to us to care about the black community.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why we got to become economically self-sufficient.
How will you succeed where he failed? We will build a wall. We will actually have Mexico pay for it in the way that I thought that Donald Trump was. We're going to charge fees on remittances that workers send to foreign countries, billions of dollars. We'll build a wall. He also promised record deportations. Donald Trump deported fewer people than Barack Obama did when he was president. Biden's let in 8 million people just in 4 years. They all have to go back. We have to enforce the rule of law in this country. Think about what's happening to our country. Just this week,
yeah, you read about that there on the revolutionary agenda. We're only concerned about what they're going to do for black people. But as we all know, it would be nice if they did do for black people, but they're not. They say because they're coming up with this illusion of inclusion. They're coming up with this prepackaged bullshit, thinking that we're going to go for it. And this is why they prop up, Uncle Tim Scott's, Warlock, what have you. These sorry-ass black mayors of Chicago, San Francisco, and New York, and neither one of them is shit. Oh, and Los Angeles as well.
Conservatives saying it's disrespectful to illegal aliens to say that they're criminals. They're violating the law. It's disrespectful when people come to this country illegally and impose burdens on our communities and run drugs into this country. That's what's disrespectful. She's weak on immigration. She's bankrolled by people who want open borders. And she said there shouldn't be a limit on immigration. You should work with corporate CEOs.
Thanks, Governor.
That is pale pastels. That
Governor,
is warm
thank you so much. So, Governor Haley.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're having some technical difficulties. Please bear with us. We're having technical difficulties out of our Denver office. Okay, just
what's the matter?
Okay.
Oh, it's up.
Oh, okay.
Really, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why? We only have 3 spaces, Jesse. You're trying to fit in more than what we got.
You said undocumented immigrants should not be called, quote, criminals. At the time, the full context is you said, quote, we don't need to talk about them as criminals. They're not their families. They want a better life, and they're desperate to get here, unquote. Do you still feel that way?
I saw
I understand how you got more than 3 spots.
We should let them into our country. I mean, first of all, I will tell you that when I was governor of South Carolina, we passed the toughest illegal immigration law in the country. Obama sued us over it, and we won. We fought Obama on illegal immigration. We fought Obama on migrant kids. We fought Obama on Syrian refugees. We fought Obama on Guantanamo Bay prisoners. I have always said we are a country of laws. The second we stop being a country of laws, we give up everything this country was founded on. But I will tell you, in passing that toughest illegal immigration law in the country, we passed E-Verify, which I want to take national, which is where businesses have to prove that the people they hire are in this country legally. I passed it within 6 months of being governor. Ron didn't pass it for 5 years. He only waited to pass it when he decided to run for president. What we need to do is not just ban a wall. We need to put 25,000 Border Patrol and ICE agents on the ground and let them do their job. We need to defund sanctuary cities.
You got it?
I got him. Go. Just play.
For all, no more safe havens for illegal immigrants. We need to make sure we go back to the Remain in Mexico policy so that no one even steps foot on U.S. soil. And instead of catch and release, we need to go to catch and deport. That's the only way we'll stop the incentives of these illegal immigrants coming across. Biden turned around and gave 500,000.
That's not like really the they're not going to do it.
500,000 drivers. Security numbers. All that does is incentivize them to pick up the phone, call their family members, and tell them.
Governor DeSantis. She did bring, when she was governor, she did bring Syrian refugees, and she got criticized for that.
That is not true.
Also in her comment, hold on one second, Governor.
That is not true.
So the disrespect comment, she's talking about that they're all families. If you look right now at the border, these are military-age males, many of them, and they're coming from all across this world. Not just from Central America. In fact, you've got them from China, Iran, Russia, the Middle East. When I was down there a couple of years ago, because I've sent people down there, you had people from Libya and Haiti. This is a ticking time bomb for this country. There are, of course, going to be terrorist cells that have come in. It's like the lowest cost way to be able to harm this country. Just send people across the southern border. Nikki Haley also opposed the border wall in 2016. She said that she ridiculed it when Donald Trump was president. I'm telling you, you need a wall. You can't trust politicians to do this. If the wall's there, it's a physical fact of life, and it's a huge step in restoring this country's sovereignty.
Governor Haley.
Go to DeSantisLies.com. I said you can't just build a wall. You have to do more than build a wall. It was having the wall and everything else.
They're not really going to do it.
But this is a bigger issue. This is more than just constantly being desperate and throwing things on me. This is the fact that we have to realize my parents came here illegally. They came the right way 50 years ago. They put in the time, put in the price. They are offended by what
a lot sooner.
And my mom would always say, if they don't follow the laws to come into this country, they won't follow the laws when they we have to start like it is. This is putting harm on us.
Take it all the way to the other countries.
Taxpayers are paying for it. You see these mayors are now upset about it. The only reason Eric Adams is now upset, why? He shouldn't be a sanctuary city then. That's why we have to defund sanctuary cities. Now Governor Abbott finally did to them what's been happening to Texas for so long. We've got to put an end to this. It's dangerous and it doesn't even count the fentanyl.
Like, really, it would be less of the city
already living in the United States. It won't be hurt. Pew Research. Will any of them be allowed to stay in the United States under your administration?
About it.
Like, people that will be amnesty President Bureau. We cannot do an amnesty in this country. First of all, it's going to do is illegally. So you got to enforce the law. It's got to be consistent. People got to know it's there. You also have to remove benefits for people who are here illegally. You know, California, you can go illegal alien and you get free health insurance coverage. You're here illegally and they're doing that. We should not let states provide these benefits. You know, in Florida, obviously, we don't do that. We don't allow the driver's license and all that, but some states do. Federally, no benefits, no enticements to come in. And then the states, we're going to crack down on sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. And I showed the hypocrisy of all this back in 2022, because we have a program to transport illegal aliens to sanctuary jurisdictions. And one of the places we sent 50 to, beautiful, liberal Martha's Vineyard. And you know what? These are folks that were on their high horse, saying how they were a sanctuary jurisdiction, saying nobody's illegal, all refugees are welcome. That's what they had in their town. They called the state of emergency and deported them off the island the next day. How do you think Texas feels? How do you think all these other communities feel that are overwhelming, being overwhelmed? So liberals in this country imposing policies on the rest of us that they are not willing to deal with the consequences of.
Governor Haley, when you're president,
Tim, imagine bragging about using humans as a prop shows how depraved the base that he's pandering to
You
is.
have to deport them. And the reason you have to deport them is they're cutting the line. You've got people who have done this and tried to go through the right way. You can't have them go and jump the line and suddenly do that. And that is actually what will get them to stop coming, is when they do realize they get to the wall and they have to turn around and go back. It's a dangerous process of what happens.
But that's way before
But when I was at the United Nations and we had this, which is another reason why we need to have Trump here defending himself going in the future. I was on the ground in Honduras and Guatemala, and what we saw is a lot of the reason why they were coming from there is because of gangs and drugs. And so what we did was we had our military go and train them on how to deal with tugboats on the water to keep the drugs from coming. But we said, you have to have them processed from here. You can't have them come. We were able to stop that flow. We've got to go back to do that, but we need to end it once and for all. Donald Trump didn't do that. That's why he needs to be here debating on the stage right now.
Governor, thank you. Let's turn to foreign policy. You have expressed different visions for how the U.S. should approach the international conflicts. And I want to start with Ukraine. It's been nearly 2 years since Russia invaded Ukraine, and there is still no end in sight to that war. Governor Haley, you say that this is a, quote, war about freedom that Ukraine must win. Governor DeSantis says, quote, we need to bring this war to an end. Do you believe he shares your commitment to a Ukrainian victory?
Nobody knows what he believes, because when President Obama was in office, he supported foreign aid to Ukraine. Now he's copying Trump and trying to act like he doesn't want to support Ukraine. But let me tell you why Ukraine should matter. First of all, I don't think we should give cash to any country, friend or foe, because you can't follow.
Wow, there goes your reparations.
Need to put troops on the ground, and Ukrainians want to win this themselves.
Can you hear me?
But dictators always do what they say.
No, lady said we're not foreigners. She said foreign aid.
No, she said friend or foe, doesn't matter. She said, I don't think, listen, she said, I don't think we should give cash to
foreigners. The foreigners. She didn't say.
How she said,
foreigners, yeah.
It don't matter. According to them, we're migrants.
We're not, though.
I know we're not, but according to them, we are. Like, just you heard what she said. Like, you ready? What are you doing?
How are you a migrant in your own country?
You're not, cuz you're not. You're not. Listen to what I'm saying. You are not.
To take Hong Kong,
According
they did.
Them.
Said they were going to invade Ukraine. We watched it. China says Taiwan is next. We better believe them.
Why they're checking back a little bit.
Ukraine, Poland, and the Baltics are next. Those are NATO countries, and that.
Of course, going to be terrorist cells that have come in. It's like the lowest cost way to be able to harm this country. Just send people across the southern border. Nikki Haley also opposed the border wall in 2016. She said that she ridiculed it when Donald Trump was for it. I'm telling you, you need a wall. You can't trust politicians to do this. If the wall's there, it's a physical fact of life, and it's a huge step in restoring this country.
Thank you, Governor Haley.
Go to DeSantisLies.com. I said you can't just build a wall. You have to do more than build a wall. It was having the wall and everything else. You can't trust what Ron's saying. But this is a bigger issue. This is more than him just constantly being desperate and throwing things on me. This is the fact that we have to realize my parents came here illegally. They came the right way 50 years ago. They put in the time, they put in the price. They are offended by what's happening on the border. And my mom would always say, if they don't follow the laws to come into this country, they won't follow the laws when they are in this country. And we have to start treating this like it is. This is putting harm on our schools, on our hospitals. Taxpayers are paying for it. You see, these mayors are now upset about it. The only reason Eric Adams is now upset, he shouldn't be a sanctuary city then. That's why we have to defund sanctuary cities. Now Governor Abbott finally did to them what's been happening to Texas for so long. It's dangerous.
Governor DeSantis.
Well, it says, welcome to DeSantis World Alive.
Come on, man. For real, why would you look that up? And what would that you to actually look that shit up? Like, that's
the number of people
that is a nonsensical thing. I didn't even would actually look that up.
First of all, it's going to do is cause more people to want to come illegally. So you got to enforce the law. It's got to be consistent. People got to know it's there. You also have to remove benefits for people who are here illegally. You know, California, you can go
illegal alien, and you get free health insurance coverage. You're here illegally and they're doing that?
Yes.
We should not let states provide these benefits. You know, in Florida, obviously, we don't do that. We don't allow the driver's license and all that, but some states do, and it creates a magnet for people coming in. So federally, no benefits, no enticements to come in, and then the states, we're going to crack down on sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. And I back in 2022, because we have a program to transport illegal aliens to sanctuary jurisdictions. And one of the places we sent 50 to, beautiful, liberal Martha's Vineyard. And you know what? These are folks that were on their high horse, saying how they were a sanctuary jurisdiction, saying nobody's illegal, all refugees are welcome. That's what they had in their town. The minute even 50 came up, they called a state of emergency and deported them off the island the next day. How do you think Texas feels? How do you think all these other communities
on the island the next day? It took a little minute for them to all get off that island.
Legal elites in this country imposing policies on the rest of us that they are not willing to deal with the consequences of themselves.
Governor Haley, when you're president,
Damn, imagine bragging about using humans as a prop. Shows how depraved the base that he's pandering to.
You have to deport them. And the reason you have to deport them is they're cutting the line. You've got people who have done this and tried to go through the right way. You can't have them go and jump the line and suddenly do that. And that is actually what will get them to stop coming, is when they do realize they get to the wall and they have to turn around and go back. It's a dangerous process of what happens for them to try and migrate here. But when I was at the United Nations and we had this, which is another reason why we need to have Trump here defending himself and talking about what he would do going in the future, because it's a problem. I was on the ground in Honduras and Guatemala. And what we saw is a lot of the reason why they were coming from there is because of gangs and drugs. And so what we did was we had our military go and train on how to deal with gangs. We went and put drug boats on the water to keep the drugs from coming. But we said, you have to have them processed from here. You can't have them come. We were able to stop that flow. We've got to go back to do that. But we need to end it once and for all. Donald Trump didn't do that. That's why he needs to be here debating on the stage right now.
Governor, thank you. Let's turn to foreign policy. You have expressed different visions for how the U.S. should approach the international conflicts. And I want to start with Ukraine. It's been nearly 2 years since Russia invaded Ukraine, and there is still no end in sight to that war. Governor Haley, you say that this is a, quote, war about freedom that Ukraine must win. Governor DeSantis says, quote, we need to bring this war to an end. Do you believe he shares your commitment to a Ukrainian victory?
Nobody knows what he believes, because when President Obama was in office, he supported foreign aid to Ukraine. Now he's copying Trump and trying to act like he doesn't want to support Ukraine. Yeah. But let me tell you why Ukraine should matter. First of all, I don't think you should give cash to any country, friend or foe, because you can't follow it, you can't hold it accountable. I don't think we need to put troops on the ground. Ukrainians want to win this themselves. But dictators always do what they say they're going to do. China said they were going to take Hong Kong, they did. Russia said they were going to invade Ukraine. We watched it. China says Taiwan is.
All right, I'm back in the studio.
They take Ukraine, Poland, and the Baltics are next. Those are NATO countries, and that puts America at war. This is about preventing war. It's always been about preventing war. If we support Ukraine, that's only 3.5% of our defense budget. Biden and no one else is telling the American people the truth about that. The Europeans have put in more than that, and they should. It's their neighborhood. But this is a pro-American, freedom-loving country. And we better remember that you have to be a friend to get a friend. And we needed a lot of friends September 12th. We've got to make sure that we're having the backs of the right friends, because if Russia wins, China wins. There's a reason the Taiwanese want us to help the Ukrainians. And that's because they know if Ukraine wins, China won't invade Taiwan. This is about preventing war. Governor DeSantis?
Yeah.
We're still in like, are we in like they're dead for something that contributed in that?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Nikki Haley is basically a carbon copy of what Biden is. It's an open-ended commitment. They want another $108 billion. They will not tell you when they have achieved their goal. And this is going to go on maybe hundreds of billions more into the future. I think a lot of people have died. We need to find a way to end this, because our priorities for national security, of course, the border, which we talked about, and people like Nikki Haley care more about Ukraine's border than she does about.
And it's downright sad.
You know what I'm saying? It really is. You know.
What do you say, Chewbacca?
Okay, no, I was up here because I'm having trouble with my algorithms right here. Okay, so we're trying to do a shared episode on our like page. And it says here we're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook's end.
I'm okay with it because, personally, it doesn't make any sense how I'm looking at it from the back because it should be able to stream on, like the way he has it set up right now. It's just crazy to me because it's like it's just crazy to me. We're only on the. I don't want to talk about it online as live. I'll talk about it later. It just looks crazy. So I'm good with what we were supposed to just film. I thought he was just gonna just go and stream and then share it to other platforms, not stream to every single platform that we have. You know what I mean? Because right now it just doesn't. It's just crazy. It's just crazy because I thought they would only allow three spots, and yet here we are with like 4 or 5. Like this, I don't talk about it online. I don't want to talk about it live. Talk about it offline.
Okay, but then keep in mind, as Jay Militant was saying, is you got a weather system, heading toward the Bay Area right there, and Facebook is headquartered there. So you might have some weather factors.
It's like 27 degrees in Denver, Aurora right now.
There's 43 degrees here in San Francisco, and the Bay Area itself is probably, at about 30. Maybe 35 or what have you, but it's quite obvious, that they're having some problems with the algorithms or what they're doing is that they're just singling us out, which I'm willing to bet.
Right there, that's on Jesse's end. That's on Jesse's end. There's a whole bunch of different factors. I'm not running it on this side. That's on Jesse's end. So if we cut out or he had to come back in or pop back in. That's on Jesse.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
there we go. He's back in the field.
Yeah, sorry y'all, I got disconnected.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna try to share this screen again.
There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hey, Jay Militant, what's happening with you?
What's up with y'all, family?
Okay. Hey, man, how's the weather up there in the Bay Area, man?
Well, I'm not sure about the Bay Area because I'm in Sac.
Oh, okay. You're in Sacramento? Okay. All right. So you're 80 miles away. Okay. All right. So be sure to go out there and cuss out the governor of California for me, man. Tell him I said to kiss my ass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what's funny?
What's that?
They don't really like Newsom like that out here.
Yeah, I know.
They should.
No, they don't.
They don't really like him out there. All that shit they be putting on TV. Yeah, we like that. Nah, that's bullshit. They don't really like Newsom out here.
Anyway, look what he did with the reparation task force. He should be like the enemy to black people right now.
Yeah, he turned it into a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And which is really bad is because what it is, black family, they don't want to give us no reparations. What they want to do is give us more time in jail, more economical hardships. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. It really is. And then this is why we got to be self-sufficient and what have you. You see what I'm saying? But they don't want that is because you see the American economy is, believe it or not, is dependent upon our ignorance. You see what I'm saying? And what I mean by dependent upon our ignorance, I'm talking about ignorance of ourselves. You see what I'm saying? They don't want us to realize the economical power that we in fact do have, you see. So this is why, you got this bastard down here in Florida with his shit, and then you got this ragged ass broad, the former governor of South Carolina with her bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And then, oh man, now what is this?
How you doing, Jay Militant? What's going on?
I'm cool. I'm just tired of these bootlicking ass country fried hair niggas.
Right. Just
coming out here talking all this bullshit. Like, sit your ass down because you're going to get this work too, motherfuckers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, most definitely.
Putting all them shells out of business, Jay. This year, putting them all out of business.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have to deal with a black first. Yeah, and then have to deal with a black first agenda, you know?
Yeah.
What happened?
You know?
You talking about
and it's black because we're not saying that we're technically black. We're black to identify ourselves until we get back home to our tribes.
Okay. No, that holds a whole lot of water right there. You know what I'm saying?
So wait. I'm lost. What are you talking about? I didn't hear how it started because everybody was talking at the same time. What happened?
Well, I just got to hearing y'all again. I got disconnected down there.
No, I was talking to Joe. What was you saying?
Oh no, I was saying as far as the term black goes, we are black until we get to where we need to go to as far as our tribe is concerned.
Oh yeah, well, what happened before that? What did you say before that? Because I didn't hear what you were saying before that.
Oh, about the bootlicking country fried ass niggas.
Yeah. What did you say about that?
On us. He went straight call it Abdul Muhammad on us.
But what was he talking about? What happened to make you say that? Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not in the loop.
When you asked me how I was doing, that was my response.
Oh yeah, because
in dealing with them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's because I'm my last name ain't Militant because I want to sound good or because I'm trying to get headline news on something. No.
Right.
Yeah. This is who I am at the core of who I am.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh, shit. That's inspiring. I shut you out yesterday too. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Day before yesterday. I don't know. One of these last shows I did. I think I did it. I think it was yesterday. I did the RBA. Or later this morning. I don't know. It's all like one big, like 3 days of pure utter anger that blend together. So I can't tell what time I did it and when I didn't do it. But it was sometime within the last couple of episodes of whatever shows we were doing.
Yeah.
It's important too. I forgot what else.
Black cars here.
Yeah. Yep. Because I like, when people come in to talk about the conflicts or whatever. I didn't feel like when it first started, I feel like it didn't have anything really to do with what we're going on here in the States. However, it did a little bit. It did in the sense of why they don't ever want to talk about actual money towards reparations in that aspect. And then two, it was a conversational thing where they really care how we really feel. They just want to divide and force people into conversations to make choices. And the shit they were showing, it's like, if you're not fully knowing their situation, you really should speak on it. Like for me, I can't speak on it. Because I didn't peep it. I didn't listen to it. I kind of, for the most part, heard only a few things, but only for people I actually listened to. But other than that, I didn't want to watch it because it's just, I felt like it was gonna be like one of those pushes that, in my opinion, I felt like we didn't have to be in that. I felt like I didn't have to be put in that situation and to pick a side or whatever. It's all bad, you know what I mean? And I just threw my hands up and turned around and went back to what's going on here in the United States. So I was like, yeah. So other countries are now that there's not a lot of black folk there, and if they are there, they're getting mistreated. It's not good anywhere, you know. And that's the
Right.
problem.
Well, okay. Did Jay Militant leave us?
No, he's still
Oh
in
no,
here.
I'm still here.
Oh,
Yep,
okay, Jay.
he's back.
Okay, yeah. I just stepped away, y'all. You know, I had to go use the restroom.
All right, y'all. I'm
But
gonna get
what
back
it
to the
is,
video. We running behind.
yeah, yeah.
Where
Okay.
we gotta go, Jesse?
That Ukraine. DeSantis says, quote, we need this war to an end. Do you believe he shares your commitment to a Ukrainian victory?
Nobody knows what he believes because when President Obama was in office, he supported foreign to Ukraine. Now he's copying Trump and trying to act like he doesn't want to support Ukraine. But let me tell you why Ukraine should matter. First of all, I don't give a friend or foe because you can't follow what you can't. I don't think we need to put troops on the ground, and Ukrainians want to win this themselves. But dictators always do what they say they're going to do. China said they were going to take Hong Kong, they did. Russia said they were going to do Ukraine, they watched it. China says Taiwan is, you better believe them. Russia said want to take Ukraine, Baltics are next, and that puts America at war. This is about preventing war. It's always been about preventing war. If we support Ukraine, that's only 3.5% of our defense budget. Biden and no one else is telling the American people the truth about that. The Europeans in their neighborhood. This is a American freedom country. And we better remember that we have to be a friend to get a friend. And we need a lot of friends September 12th. We've got to make sure that we're having back right friends, because if Russia wins, China wins. There's a reason Taiwanese.
Is that like? Do you hear the sound, or am I tripping?
What's going on?
Do you hear the? Okay, I'm gonna go out and come right back in. Okay, it's probably on my end. All right, I'm gonna go out and come right back in.
Yeah, because that's what I'm having to do here on this end here too from Las Vegas.
I don't know. We might be older, so.
I supported Trump's policy vis-a-vis Russia, Ukraine, and it was successful. The Biden policy has not been, but Nikki Haley is basically a carbon copy of what Biden is. It's an open-ended commitment. They want another $100. They not tell you when billions more in the future. I think we need to find a way to answer our priorities. Security, of course, we care more about transport. We also have to look what's the top to this country. It's the Chinese Communist Party. We are not doing what we need to do to have good hard power in the Pacific. Here's the thing. We don't have enough resources being $35 trillion in debt to continue doing hundreds of billions of dollars.
The biggest threat is China. Why assist? Why not ally the region?
This is the lie they're telling the American people over and over again. It is so wrong to say this. They're saying you have to choose between Ukraine or Ukraine. 3.5% of our budget. I don't want cash going. It's equipment, and that's 5% of our defense budget. If we enter the border, that's less than 5% of screen subsidies. You do not have to choose when it comes to national security. This is about keeping Americans safe. This is about keeping our military men and women from having to fight a war. And you only do that when you focus on national security, not telling lies to the American people that they have.
Well, remember what J. Hoover said about the biggest threat to national security. Okay, it was the organization of black.
Yeah. By I believe Megyn Kelly, and she said, "You bring it to China."
Exactly. No, but this is what J. Hoover said, as you know, Brother Chet. It's because they know if we had solidarity, here in the diaspora with the continent, they wouldn't stand a chance, and they know it. we as on a collective basis don't know it.
Well, that's the foundation of Black Americans. The rest of the diaspora is just catching up.
Dollars, we've got homeless veterans. We have all these problems. This is the UN way of thinking, that we're somehow globalists and we have unlimited resources to do. You know?
Here we go with that Alex Jones talk, the globalists.
You can take the ambassador out of the United Nations, but you can't take the United Nations out of the ambassador.
Okay. Well, you know, the United Nations, man, you know, that there's being overseen by the U.S. anyway, man. That there's where the U.S., you know, works its puppet strings. You see what I'm saying? It's because what they do is they go to these European nations that strip Africa of the raw resources. And then
we're honest and say we have to focus on national security. Don't go out to make it.
So which means black man and woman expected to be jacked about the police more.
Think about the fact that he's talking about where is this money going to come from. The best way to tell about a candidate is to see how they've run their campaign. He has blown through $150 million. I don't even know how you do that. Through his campaign, he spent on private planes, on commercial islands. If you make advantage
She was ranked number 50 when she was governor. She wasn't able to do school.
Okay, so our screen froze up once again, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so, you know, meanwhile, as our Denver office deals with the technical difficulties, you know, and what it is, Black family, is that it's up to us to take care of us. We're going to keep emphasizing that. Doug Christie dropping out, you know, that's great news as well. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying Doug Christie, with him dropping out, is great news. Yes, because Doug Christie, you know, yeah. Oh, yeah, to hell with, you know, actually to hell with all these no good lying ass bastards, is because that's all what they do.
Yep. He said that if Sada Shakur said the United States will kill her on sight. Fuck Christie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, Sister Asada said that her own self, was that if she ever sets foot in the United States or on an American territory, that she is to be shot on sight with orders of shoot to kill. You see what I mean? Yeah, you see, and that's a fact, you know. And we did a blog talk special on her 70th solar return, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. And you could pull it up from our archives at Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Blog Talk Radio. And basically, what that episode was about, you know, was just clips, you know, from the Queen Mother, you know what I'm saying, and stating her case as she was lecturing down in Cuba in 1997. And then, of course, remember the entertainer Common, and he had did a song paying tribute to Asada Shakur, and he was put up under a lot of scrutiny and pressure and stuff like that. So, of course, you know, they censored him. You see what I mean? You know, but they damn sure could put up there that gay shit. You know, like what Cat Williams, you know, had exposed. You know, they want all our black men to wear a damn dress. You know what I'm saying? To wear feminine attire. You know, they want to shatter the black male's image. You know, and they don't want the black male, you know, not ruling, but running his household, raising his family, keeping the family unit intact. Is because, as we do know, is that the black family unit is the basis of the black nation. You see what I mean? And they don't want us to sit up here to be unified. And I'm up here arguing with OTBs on Facebook, sitting up here trying to tell me that Eminem was the greatest rapper of all time. And I just you see that
of him all dressed up like a broad too in one of those music videos he did back in the day.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Yeah.
And it's like
And then
this don't ever say to go of anything, let alone like
and then what was that movie that he
came on the
made
scene.
called 8 Mile, I think?
8 Mile, that was back when I was in high school, shit, back in 2002.
Yeah, okay. 8 Mile is what he made. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. So and then
22 years ago.
Optics.
You still hear me?
Optics. We know why they made the movie. Optics. Just like what I was talking about yesterday. Optics. Look at the optics. Why all of a sudden would you make a movie about a white boy growing up in Detroit in the trailer parks and highlight that off the fact that he's a rapper? So now the optics is like, okay, so rapping must come from the trailer parks too. No. The trailer parks is the trailer parks. The trailer parks is some backwood white trash type shit. It has nothing to do with the projects. It has nothing to do with the hood. But they want to try to change everything around because all before they would have movies about white folks in the trailer parks doing white things. But now you want to put a white rapper, highlight that he's from the trailer parks in a major motion picture with his black friends hanging around him. Come on now. Optics.
Yep, definitely optics. And he was a punk rocker before he was ever a rapper.
Thank you.
Straight up supremacist.
Didn't Kid Rock come from the same parts?
Yes.
And we know about his racism.
Yep.
Yeah, the motherfucker racist and vulturing the culture.
Yeah, exactly. And he said he would use it to make himself wealthy on the real Slim Shady.
Yep.
We thought he was playing. Exactly. He was dead serious. He was dead serious. That's exactly what he did.
No, and then you see how they had him downplaying white girls. You remember when he first came out? Who was he attacking? He was attacking white girls and boy bands.
And putting his wife in the trunk.
Right. I know I seen the shit. I caught what was really going on. Like, why would you have a white boy attack his own people like that? Oh, here we go with the optics word again, because this is what they do with us. They will highlight us attacking us. So to make him seem like that and to open up the door and make the rest of them feel comfortable about it, this is what we're going to do.
Yep.
I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, you know.
Media, we saying the fuck with the hell with all of that. We control the narrative. We dictate the truth. And we are the moral compass of the country, Black family. We morals. Men are created equal. If you're rich and slaves, yeah, definitely. They're equal. But everybody else, the hell with you. And that's what it's been. And that's what the woke go high. But you don't want to take and you have to be running for president. Man. I'm gonna let the video play though, Jay.
Okay.
And on it goes. So the success we've had in Florida, I can cite the statistics. Taking to Florida in record numbers because we're doing it right. And not only have I cut taxes big time, where she didn't, and Governor of South Carolina, we've paid down 25% of our. That's how you manage the third largest state in this country. Just imagine if we could do that, the United States. That you unequivocally support Israel. You both have called for the complete elimination of Hamas. Governor DeSantis, there are within Israel after the war. Some Israeli elected officials are pushing for the next rule. Governor, so in worded and the job is needing. You said one thing goes.
What happened to the sound? Oh, well, we're having technical difficulties right now, y'all. Jesse will be back. I'll hold it down. You know, but yeah, it really don't matter at the end of the day. You know, who gets in? Because man, what y'all gonna do for us? Who's gonna be the first president that actually holds to their word and delivers on what we need in our community? Come on, drop that money off in our community. Drop that money.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, thanks for holding it down. I got disconnected.
Joe. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, damn, he got quiet. I was like, what happened to the sound?
Yeah, that's what happened. I don't know where Letty Che went. Shabaka used up all his data on his hotspot on his phone, so he ain't gonna be able to get on.
The problem with that is the Palestinian Arabs don't recognize Israel's right to exist as a Jewish state. So doing a two-state solution doesn't create something that's going to lead to a lasting peace. It creates a stepping stone for Israel's destruction. So under no circumstances, as president, am I going to pressure Israel to risk their security to do a so-called two-state solution. She was wrong when she embraced that, and we're right to say we trust Israel.
Thank you. Yeah, because I burned my Wi-Fi data, you know, on the hotspot.
Oh my God!
That's basketball, I'm telling you.
You have to get you a tablet or something, Shabaka.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, this is some dirty motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? And what it is, black family, once again, all you white bastards out there, you know, running this shit. You know, you don't like message. So, you know, you want to put some motherfucking money, you know, for them and kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? And they like me today, like people, you know what I mean? And we're just being real about it. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can't understand you, Shabaka. It sounds really bad on your end.
Okay.
Is it so you're not on unlimited? So you got to find out how much it's gonna be to top up on your data. Goddamn, some of these fucking bags. Yeah, we can't understand you, Shabaka. Jay, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, we can't understand Shabaka. He sounds like really bad. He used up all the data on his phone, so he was using it as a hotspot for his laptop, and he can't get on his phone because it sounds like really bad. It's real hard to hear him.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah, so he's going to top up his data or something.
Oh yeah.
If you ain't on unlimited, they give you like a certain number, like 15 gigabytes or something. Crazy shit.
It's something small.
Yeah. It's like, you're gonna go through that halfway through the month.
Quickly.
Shabaka. It's still bad, Shabaka. The sound, if you can work on the sound, work.
Yeah.
Are you on the headset?
Yeah, I'm trying to do Bluetooth.
You on the headset?
No, I'm trying to do Bluetooth.
Yeah, it still sounds bad.
Can you hear me now?
No, it still sounds bad. It's like all distorted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You have another headset or earphones or something?
Yeah, I'm on the phone right now. Bad.
Yeah, it's not gonna work, Shabaka, unfortunately. You just have to watch from the cloud.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna be on. Someone needs you to do the show, man. Grand prize, man. Did
you already type it up? Oh, you said
okay. The grand prize, is basically a general conversation.
Okay. So you must have typed it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, real bad, Shabaka. Okay. We're gonna have to bid you a good night because it sounds really bad on your end.
Okay. All right. Okay. Take care. All right.
All right. Sorry, Jay. I gotta finish up this video. So we're going.
Governor DeSantis, 15 seconds. 15-second clarification. Do you support the mass removal of Palestinians from Gaza? So as president, I am not going to tell them to do that. I think there's a lot of issues with that. But if they make the calculation that to avert a second Holocaust, they need to do that. I think some of these Palestinian Arabs, Saudi Arabia should take some. Egypt should take some. They've never been willing to accept any of these folks in their own neighborhood. Thank you, Governor Haley.
Well, first of all, we need to understand the reason we need to support Israel is Israel's a bright spot in a tough neighborhood. They are the tip of the spear when it comes to defeating terrorism. It has never been that Israel needs America. It has always been that America needs Israel. When I was at the United Nations, I fought every day for Israel. And if you would have listened to what I said at the United Nations, a two-state solution wasn't something that was possible because Israel would always come to the table and the Palestinians wouldn't. But right now, we have to make sure that Israel has the support that it needs. There should be three things. Give Israel whatever it wants to get the job done. 2, eliminate Hamas once and for all. And 3, do whatever it takes to bring the hostages home. But it's really rich that Ron is going to act like he suddenly cares for Israel when he brought the person to Iowa that's the most anti-Israel Republican in the state, the person that went and voted against Israel's right to exist in Congress, the person that voted with the squad against anti-Semitism on college campuses.
Thank you, Governor.
And you brought that person to Iowa to go and camp.
Is he talking about Iman or Oman? Is he set the squad? Are you still there, Jay?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Is he talking about Iman or Oman?
Oh, Omar.
Yeah. Omar is it Omar or Oman?
Well, English is Omar, but I think in the right term, the way you say it is the correct way.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what she's talking about. Cause she's talking about she's there in Iowa though.
Yeah. Oh, racist ass Iowa.
The sisters in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So she's making her little dog whistles.
If that's your friend,
Governor
I'd hate to see you.
DeSantis, she's obviously referring to Congressman Tom Massey from Kentucky. That's just
Massey.
Massey
from Kentucky. That's not who I was thinking of. Especially since
hell no.
cheap garbage. But here's the thing: when the attacks happened against Israel, I knew it was going to be a big deal for Florida. We have one of the largest Israeli American populations in the country, and we've been a haven for Orthodox Jews in particular since I've been governor. And you know what? Biden wasn't helping Americans get out of the war zone. These are people that were stranded. So I did an executive order. We scrambled planes and we rescued over 700 Americans from Israel and brought them back safely to the state of Florida. You got to step up and you got to lead when things like this are happening. We also have gone after the anti-Semitism on our campuses. We did that early in my administration. You didn't see our college presidents doing some of the things that you've seen. I just announced in the State of the State address yesterday or 2 days ago that we are going to say, and not just for Jewish students, anyone who's having religious being persecuted or being marginalized because of their faith in any college around the country, we're going to waive the transfer requirement so that people can come to Florida and be safe. What they are doing to these Jewish students has been reprehensible, and we're not going to let it happen.
So there are. I'm coming.
First of all,
you see what he did there?
Yeah. I see that bush.
Yeah. Okay, you motherfucker.
You know, goddamn well they ain't doing nothing to address no anti-black hatred.
Right. He kept it on religion.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. we're gonna ignore the race factor. We're gonna ignore the anti-black rallies, marches, meetings, lynchings.
Yeah, the anti-woke. This
right, that shit
to die. And then the stupid bitch that wrote a book on woke couldn't even define it.
Right. Like, come on now, y'all some complete idiots.
But woke is synonymous with black and black issues. And whatever they're talking about us, that's how they bring us up. Okay, Shabaka gonna try again.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Barely, Shabaka. It's still crackling a little bit. Say something.
Yeah, still started, right?
Yeah.
Still doing
it. Yeah, these raggedy motherfuckers. Hold on, let's try something else. Give me a minute.
Oh, okay.
There are growing fears of this war escalating into a broader regional conflict. And Governor Haley, just yesterday, the U.S. Navy shot down 21 missiles and drones fired by Iranian-backed militants in the Red Sea. Iranian-backed militants are now also attacking U.S. and Western interests in Syria and Iraq. Your fellow South Carolinian Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is calling for the U.S. to conduct retaliatory strikes inside Iran. Would you order strikes inside Iran?
Well, first of all, notice Ron didn't say anything about the fact that he did bring that most anti-Israel Republican into this state to campaign. He also hasn't told you that the only Republican Jewish state legislator left his campaign because he wasn't dealing with the neo-Nazi marches and wasn't dealing with anti-Semitism properly. When it comes to Iran, what we have to understand, there would be no Hamas without Iran. There would not be Houthis without Iran. There wouldn't be Hezbollah without Iran. And when you look at the strikes that are happening in Iraq and Syria, that is because of Iran.
And when you look at the whole big-ass picture, Black family, there'll be none of that if it was not for the United States.
Pulling the puppet strings. What we need to do is the idea that we've had over 130 strikes on our men and women in Iraq and Syria is unconscionable. We're supposed to have their backs. And Biden has been slow. He's been hiding in a corner and he hasn't dealt with it. We need to go and take out every bit of the production that they have that's allowing them to do those strikes. It's hugely important that we do that. And you can't do that if you have a Secretary of Defense that is in ICU and the president doesn't even know about it. What bothers me is how does Biden not talk to his Secretary of Defense every single day, knowing that we have a war in Europe, a war in the Middle East, that we have our American military with strikes going on them. We've got brain injuries. My husband is deployed right now. As a military spouse, the idea that the Secretary of Defense would not even be in contact with the president, much less in contact with his staff, is unforgivable.
Governor DeSantis.
After the attacks against Israel, anyone with half a brain knows Iran is behind this. They fund Hamas, they fund Hezbollah. We did a special session in the legislature down in Florida. We expanded sanctions against Iran. We were our own country. We'd be the 14th largest economy in the world. The root of this is Biden came into office and he relaxed the sanctions on Iran. They've had massive amounts of money flooding into their country, just like under the Obama administration. They take that money and they use it to fund jihad around the world. I'm the only one running for president that served in the armed forces. I deployed to Iraq back in 2007, 2008. So I understand what our military goes through. I would never put our troops in harm's way like Biden is doing in the Middle East without defending them with everything they got. If you harm a hair on the head of one of our service members, you are going to have hell to pay. He's leaving them out to dry, and I think it's disgraceful for a commander-in-chief to do.
Thank you, Governor. The CNN Republican Presidential Debate live from Des Moines, Iowa. We'll be right back after this. Go to CNN.com for real-time debate analysis. Stay with us.
Jay, are you still there?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so they're in Des Moines. All I remember is the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, them white folks out there. Whew.
Yeah, they definitely don't like niggas out there. Iowa.
Yeah, you ain't gonna catch me out there.
Side of many sundown towns. I gotta fast forward because there's little commercials.
Yeah, I done heard a lot of stories about Iowa.
Yeah, you know, that's where George Washington Carver is from.
Yeah.
They castrated him.
Yeah,
the white family.
That's what they do.
Yeah, that is definitely what they do. They adopt black children and do horrific things to them.
Man. Yeah, as a matter of fact, isn't Iowa like the gateway for the trafficking?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you think about it, I guess it is, because that's what 35 and 80 mean.
And should it you?
Okay.
35 and 80 mean, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm back. I got it already. I'm already in here.
Oh, okay. Welcome back, Lady Cherry.
Oh, you back? What's up, sis? Welcome back.
Thank you. Of the quick 20 minutes. Go ahead and play.
Visit the power to go after businesses and private entities that take actions that don't align. values. Governor DeSantis, you used your powers in Florida to take on Disney after the company criticized an education bill that you signed into law. How does that square with the traditional conservative view that small, limited government is best?
The proper role of government, if it means anything, it's to protect our kids. And I've stood for the innocence of our kids. It is wrong. It is wrong to sexualize the curriculum. It's wrong.
I miss anything good.
First grader, kindergartner, to preschooler. This is something that's important to us.
Just more lies, and deceit and neglecting of us. They was pointing it out like, oh, and you know what? They ain't even talking about us. They talking about everything but us. They talking every which way around us.
I said that like 30 minutes ago.
Going out of their way.
Well, it was 47 minutes in. I was like, they said shit yet about black people. Not once, right?
They were talking about the Jews and what funding they want to give to them in Israel and how they stand on the Hamas Israeli shit. So,
well, let that be a notice to all our black Republicans. They do shit for black folk.
Hell no.
Thought they were good. You were really good. Hear it?
And some bones and biscuits. They said, good job, boy. And then when you come up with the jab and die, they ain't even gonna have a funeral for you.
Right, exactly.
Herman Cain. Shout out to Herman Cain.
On to tell a kindergarten Disney wanted to do that you can change your gender, or tell a third grader that you're born in the wrong body. So I stood up against, the media didn't like it, the left didn't like it, and Disney didn't like it, and they're the 800-pound gorilla in the state of Florida. Most people, most corporate Republicans would have caved. I stood and I fought for the kids. We took on Disney and we defeated that and we won that fight, and our kids are better off. Now, Nikki Haley sided with Disney. She invited them to South Carolina. Even though they were involved in transing kids. That is not what we need to do. But I think that's similar. She is representative of...
Letting all your little mascots give high fives and hugs to little black kids. Can we talk about that? Because I remember Disney shaming, like totally avoiding the little black kids that are they go to visit Disneyland.
In the parades, yeah. I remember
mascots and shit. Yeah, can we talk about that part? Like, can you address that? No. It's like silence. They wouldn't let us run a debate. We run a Republican debate. I got all kind of questions.
On the right one in here.
I got all kinds of questions. I'm like, so you're not going to address the mascots? Not addressing little black kids when they see them.
After he said he
push them out.
No, the hell you didn't, DePanties.
When the NAACP said don't come to Florida. What about that?
Yeah.
They forgot about that.
Yeah, they forgot about that. Why did he say that, Ron? Can you tell us? Because we were still lost. Why did he say that? Why do you have them? Your shit is breaking up very bad there. It's like a fucking robot. It's like black fucking Republic. That's what it sounds like. Nope. Sound like one of the AI narrators that I don't like. I hate when they do. You turn on the gossip shows or channels like I don't know any one of those off-brand ones, and you just listen to it for about 1 to 5 minutes. Yep. And they'll be like, you can tell the way they're not normal, the way they say like certain words. No, it's still echoey and like it's still robotic. No, sir. It's not working. Not at all.
Oh, hey y'all, I gotta jump off. I just forgot. I gotta head to the store.
Okay. Be careful.
Oh,
Thanks for coming up.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll catch y'all next time.
All right. Thank you. We're gonna stick it to the stream piece because.
Make sure y'all sub up to What's Cracking TV.
Oh, now it works, Jesse. What the hell? It works now. Yeah, go like and subscribe to Jay Militant. What is it? What's Cracking TV? Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
What's Cracking TV with Jay Militant?
Insightful lately. Mm-hmm.
Governor Haley, your response?
Government was intended to secure the rights and freedoms of the people. It was never meant to be.
That's what she said the Civil War was caused.
Jesse, your avatar isn't showing, cuz. Your avatar is not showing. Yeah, she said something. Yeah, I was hoping. Are they going to address that? Yeah, and then is it going to lead to a question about, us? That's what I would. That's a perfect lead-in. If they were having struggles, to figure out how to lead into that, that's the lead-in. She fucked up. That perfect way to test Ron DeSantis is gangster too. You know what I mean? God, you can see everything, Jesse. Like all your shit's all exposed. All exposed. Yeah, showing now, along with everything else you got.
All things to all people. And what we don't need is government politicizing anything. The first thing I'll say is, again, DeSantisLies.com, because I have never said anything related to the transgender stuff he says. I've always
and I almost can't believe somebody spent more time putting it together.
That we shouldn't have any gender transitions before the age of 18. Just like we don't have tattoos before the age of 18, we shouldn't have gender transformation or puberty blockers. But I will tell you that it's really about Disney, because Disney has been woke for a long time.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Disney has been woke for a long time. Oh my God. Because your shit is just breaking up. She just said Disney as a whole has been woke for a long time. I bet it has. They're not referring it to that. They've already perverted it. It's no longer, we should no longer claim that word. No, they perverse it. Come on now. It's no longer a black thing. It's a whatever thing. It's just funny when they say it. It's different now. It's no longer. It's whatever they can have it, whatever they want it to mean. Over there. But it's funny when they say it, right? That was the point of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, push corporate subsidies in Florida history. He had a tech exemptions. Didn't give any tech exemptions to anybody but Disney. Yet when they went and criticized him, he got thin skin and. You don't need government against. But the one businesses and Ron is
just let me drink it would up like that. It just sounds terrible, like you can't hear it. Like for some reason it just comes and goes. It's not all the time. It's just no. It just can't put it back right where it was. What are you doing? What are you doing? Jesse, what are you doing? You're not gonna play it.
It keeps freezing up.
Not to protect kids, but when she was governor of South Carolina, they had a bill to protect girls from men going into the bathroom. She killed it, and she's bragged about it for years that happened. She didn't stand up and fight the kids. She caved to the Chamber of Commerce and the corporation. She said she's against the surgeries for minors. That wasn't what she said this summer. She was asked about it. It's on video.
Yes.
I got it. As usual. Jesus. You got to tell me ahead of time, Jesse. You know, like if I'm available. All right, here we go. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. This is the StreamYard. Okay, that's that StreamYard. Hold on 1 second. No. This one. Or do I want this one? I think I want this
to the viewers. Take my letters.
I'm hoping it's just the same people. That's a comfortable feeling. Okay, here we go. Just see what I got going on over here. Okay. Okay, there we go. Hold on 1 second. Start streaming. Okay, I see you. It's gonna stop for real. Watch. Okay, I gotta get to the time, right? Or is it over? What is it? Okay, it's over.
Yeah.
How far were you in? Like,
it was about 20 minutes left. 20 minutes.
Okay. Where's your time stop? Never mind. I'm gonna stop, right?
It was 48. 45.
48 minutes? 45. Okay, got it. Okay, am I sharing? Yeah, am I sharing? Can you see it?
No. It was an hour 13. Okay. Is he still live?
No, he's done, but can you see it?
Yeah.
So sharing? Okay, cool.
Play it and that's it.
You said 45. I'm stopping right there.
He's in those elections in 2020 that should be concerning. That's why I passed voter ID in South Carolina.
Of course,
that's why I think when absentee ballots go out, you should be able to verify signatures. That's why I think ballots need to be counted on election day, and you should get results on election day. But that election, Trump lost it. Biden won that election, and the idea that he's gone and carried this out forever to the point that he's going to continue to say these things to scare the American people are wrong. We've seen a lot of states come together and do more election integrity bills.
Reliable energy production in this country. Florida's had a massive decline. States run the way
14.
they.
1 hour
1 minute.
14. 1 hour and 14. No, you're going back way too far.
I'm trying to find you, Jesse. What?
Well, you gotta go to the right.
I am going to the right.
Keep going.
You said an hour and what?
1:14.
Okay.
An hour and 14.
Okay, stop. I got it. I heard you first time. Right here. Sorry.
Right there.
There you go. I got it.
People in Iowa know best what types of education they need. Secondly, parents should decide what types of education their children.
It's ironic that she's lecturing on education when she leads a state that's ranked 42 in education out of 50.
No parent.
And the other states below that are not democratic
In the
states.
classroom. That's why we'll have all of the curriculums online for every parent to see. And we need to start putting vocational classes back in our high schools. Let's teach our kids how to do things. We did that in South Carolina. We had apprenticeships. We taught our kids how to build the things we're making.
What? I'm behind you. Oh, we'll get over it. Okay. I'm going to start playing it again. I can't watch both screens. So play it again, okay? Okay.
When we start putting education...
Huh?
It's pinwheeling on my end.
Yeah, that's your stuff. That's not over here. Mine's good. But are you ready? Ready for me to play it?
I can't see it. Play it. I can't see it though.
Is it not sharing?
I can't see it. I
don't understand. So I can't. You're echoing like a motherfucker. Anyway.
I know it's the internet. Just say I'm gonna have to go out and come back in. Just let it play.
Okay. Okay.
I need to
She's
go
back in the States and away from DC.
Are you talking to me or can I keep playing? So I can't watch both screens in.
And you need to rewind it some because I'm talking about something else before education.
Well, that's what I asked you about. Did you just let me do?
I told you the timestamp.
Coming in, Shabaka. That's what I did. I'm at one. Jesse, I'm at 114.
113.
That's what. That's where I'm at.
113. No, go to 113. We're at 114.
All right. Well, let's just. Shabaka's in here already. He's in here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just kind of broken up. Y'all are really broken up, really. But it's okay. I'm going to play it, and I'm not going to stop it again. So I'm just going to play it for a few minutes so I can finish doing what I was doing, okay? I'm gonna let it run for about, 5-10 minutes.
Policies nationwide.
It depends on the policy. School choice, universal, yes. I don't want a nationalized curriculum. I think that's a bottom-up thing. I want to get rid of the Federal Department of Education, get that weight off the backs of the state and local governments. But we are going to do nationwide scholarships through the corporate tax credits, and that's going to bail out a lot of poor kids throughout this country.
Governor Haley.
You know, I have fought for school choice in my entire career because I think parents know their children best, and I think we should.
It's breaking up, Shabaka. It's just like Jesse's. I think it's just the Wi-Fi or the hotspot connections. It's not working right tonight or whatever. It's real choppy. Are you on the laptop?
No, I can't look at the laptop back to Wi-Fi. It's just turned up on my data on the phone.
Oh.
So I gotta go see these podcasts over there. What's that bullshit that I got that stress off? And, and it's like
we can't understand anything you're saying. Shabaka can't understand anything you're saying at all. Not even barely an audible word. The same thing, I don't know. Jesse was just like that a few minutes ago. I'm hoping it cleared up, but it's too hard to understand you. Okay, I'm just gonna assume both of you are having audio issues because for some reason it's coming in very choppy on both ends for both of you. Just could say it's the weather, we could say whatever, but it's coming in very, very hard to hear and really loud. I don't know how you guys are gonna fix it, but I'm pretty sure it's the way whatever it's on your end. But let me just get through this so we can let the people finish watching it if they're gonna watch it. So just if anything, just go on mute for a second, and then when you figure it out, let me know. But let's play it, please.
Should always do that. That's why we passed charter school legislation in our state. That's why we empowered homeschoolers in our state. That's why we changed the funding formula. So we lifted up challenged areas without bringing down the wealthy areas. We wanted school choice. I had a Republican legislature that wouldn't do it, but we pushed hard to get that done. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it across the country, but what we have to do is we have to make it state centric. We've got to get these programs down to the state level. We've got to let the focus be on teachers. Teachers right now have to be the guidance counselors, the pastors, the nurses, and everything in between. And oh, by the way, they have to teach to a test. That's not what teachers want. Teachers want to do what they were taught to do. And that means math, science, reading, history, English, arts. That's it. Schools can't be all things to all kids. They need to let the parents parent. They need to let teachers teach. And we need to go back to the basics in education so we get our kids.
That was the problem, though. That word salad is the problem. Governor DeSantis, she's always supported school choice, and she failed to deliver. She blames other people. Leadership is about getting things done. Stop making excuses.
We'll do it offline. We'll talk about it offline.
if leadership's about getting things done, how did you blow through $150 million in your campaign and you were down in the polls?
So here's
you are not a manager.
I think it's very instructive about what Nikki Haley sees the world.
I think I have the floor.
Political advertisements as like that's as important as the kids and their education. What is more important here? She's saying somehow that that's not
Governor Haley's. It's Governor Haley's time. Go ahead.
I think I hit a nerve. What I will tell you is, look, if you can't manage a campaign, it's been a revolving door of political people in and out of his campaign. You've heard of campaign people going to blows with each other because they can't all agree. $150 million, and he spent more on private planes than commercials. I flew commercial. I stayed in residence inns. We went and saved our money. We made sure we spent it right because you have to understand it's not your money. It's other people's money, and you have to know how to handle it. If he can't handle the financial parts of a campaign, how's he going to handle the economy when it comes to the White House? And he goes and he has been demeaning me over and over again, telling lies, DeSantisLies.com, because he thinks it makes him look bigger. But in the one basic thing, you've campaigned for president in one state, you're invisible in New Hampshire, you're invisible in South Carolina, you're in 5th place, you've got $150 million and you've gone down in the polls in Iowa. Why should we think you can manage or do anything in this country?
Thank you. Governor DeSantis.
This is a great window into leadership because she focused on a lot of political process stuff, things that no voter cares about. And she couldn't tell you why she failed to deliver school choice to people in her state after she promised it. So she says somehow that is the indicative of, no, leadership is about producing results. We've produced the results in Florida. We did universal school choice. We've cut taxes. We banned sanctuary cities. On and on down the line, everything I promised I delivered. She doesn't have a rationale for why she couldn't get it done. That is poor leadership. You look at me, everything I promised I would do, I've delivered, and you can expect nothing less when I'm the president of the United States.
We're gonna move on now.
I need to respond to that.
He doesn't really
So
believe
you want to
that.
talk about leadership, and he wants to go and demean and put down. Let me tell you what leadership is. Leadership is the fact that I went into South Carolina that had 11% unemployment rate. Leadership is the fact that we turned it into an economic powerhouse, building planes, building cars, building tires. We were named the Beasts of the Southeast. We moved the 11% unemployment down to 4%. We announced jobs in every county in the state. We moved 35,000 people on welfare to work. We changed our prison system to where we now have the lowest recidivism rate in the country. We passed voter ID. We passed tort reform. We did pension reform. We paid down our debt. We cut taxes. We made sure that people were proud again. We did E-Verify in the first 6 months, not 5 years like Ron. So don't go and pick on school choice and say that that's leadership. When I got to the UN, we cut $1 billion off the top, and we took the kick me son off of our back, and America was respected again at the UN. I know what leadership is.
We're moving on to a topic, governors, that both of you have made central to your campaigns, and that is China. Governor Haley, American farmers were hurt by former President Trump's trade war with China. As a result, his administration paid out $28 billion in subsidies to farmers. You have vowed to be even tougher than Donald Trump on China. If your trade policies also end up hurting America's farmers, are you prepared to cut a check just like he did?
Well, that's why Trump should be here on this debate stage. He should have to defend it. So first of all, I've said China is our #1 national security threat. I fought them every single day at the United Nations. I know what they're capable of. The first thing we have to do is we have to make sure we stop selling them any land and we take back the land they already purchased. We need to go to our universities and we say, you either take Chinese money or you take American money, but the days of taking both are over. We need to stop all of the technologies that are going to China. Biden approved 70% of them. Trump approved even more than that. We have to tell them we're going to end all normal trade relations with them until they stop murdering Americans with fentanyl. And we need to make sure we build up our military. But the biggest thing, I was very attached to China in terms of trade. And the one thing we'll do is we won't wait for the China to pull the rug out from under Iowans. What we'll do is instead we will move that trade to where we have friends. We will go and build partnerships, India, Japan, South Korea, Philippines, Australia, Israel. We will go and move that trade over. Right now, you can ask our farmers, when they go and they buy from China, China orders, cancels the order, and goes and tries to buy it cheap. That's what China does. Our farmers deserve better than that. We will get them trade deals. When I was governor in South Carolina, we sold and we exported everything we were making in South Carolina. When I'm president, we will sell and export everything that's being made in Iowa to those that are our friends, not our enemies.
Thank you. Governor DeSantis, your response.
But
The way you deal with China is threefold. One, we need more hard power in the Indo-Pacific. I'm a Navy guy. We need more sea power. We're going to build that up, and we're going to have a strategy to deny their ability to invade Taiwan or to get beyond the first island chain. On the current course, they're going to take advantage of Biden, and we're going to rue the day when that happens. Second, we got to decouple our economy, particularly things that are nationally significant to our national survival. And you got to be methodical, strategic about it. There's a lot of moving parts there, but we're going to do that. Nikki Haley's not going to be able to do that because a lot of her supporters make a lot of money in China. And so she's going to talk tough, but she'll cave on that. And then also with here in the United States, she's saying they shouldn't be buying land and be in the universities. When she was governor of South Carolina, the state gave China land. And they were in the universities. As governor in Florida, I banned China from buying land, and we kicked them out of our universities. That's what you want to do.
I don't know if that's the right
DeSantisLies.com. He has an economic development arm. You had an office in Hong Kong. On the website, it said that Florida is a great place to do for Chinese companies to do business. And then when we called you out on it, you had the website scrubbed. So we know that that's the case. What I will tell you is we need to focus on what we're going to do to become less dependent on China. And we need to make sure that we look at it through a national security lens. When we had COVID, everybody told you to wear a mask. It was made in China. They told you to take a COVID test. You turned it over. It was made in China. If you go down the drugstore aisle, all those medicines are made in China. We need to make sure we're getting medicines made here, or we need to get it from our friends so that we're not in any way threatened. But I'll tell you, Ron continues to sit there and talk about China. He has done expansion in China. His biggest donor that is backed by China gave them $340,000. So don't go and talk about donors and money. Go to DeSantisLies.com and we'll tell you all about it.
Governor DeSantis, You're talking the opposite of what you did. You were made a big effort to bring them into the state. They had land near a military base. You were in front of the Chinese flag saying you work for them. You wrote a love letter to the ambassador. That's well documented. You were the #1 Republican governor in the country. And even people that on the media who are hostile to me, they look, they say they can't find one instance of me as governor recruiting a Chinese company because I haven't done it. It's not been part of that. And the Enterprise Florida, we actually eliminated it. So here's the thing, though. She's backed by companies like BlackRock. She's backed by major companies on Wall Street. They make a lot of money in China. There's a reason why you're in the mess you are in terms of trying to deal with the inflation and everything, because the elites in this country have sold out the middle of the country for China. She is part of that now, and she's not going to stand up for you.
Governor DeSantis, I want to ask about something that you mentioned you've been talking a lot about on the campaign trail, which is coupling the U.S. economy with China's. China is a top supplier of goods to the United States. The U.S. sells more than $150 billion of goods to China every year. Is it really possible to sever economic ties without inflicting major pain on American business and American consumers?
Sure it is, and it's something that you got to be strategic, you got to be methodical about, you got to focus on the things that are of national significance. For example, I don't think it's a good idea that the pharmaceuticals come from there, things for military weaponry, all these important things that if we got into a worldwide conflict, we're going to ask China.
Did you take my stuff down? Did I intentionally put back there?
What are you talking about?
In the back where I have my clips and things like that.
No, they're still there. They're just on the RVA.
No, not on this side of things. Like there's nothing there. Like if that don't make sense.
They're still there. Like, I don't know what you're tripping on, cuz.
Well, I'll show you in a minute. Like, let's hurry up and get through it so I can hang up and I'll just show you that when I get a chance. Because what I'm looking at is like I don't have them there where they were. But anyway, I'm gonna push play. Okay, push play. I'll show you after the live or after we get off this. We're what, like 3 hours in?
Maybe on the other side of that to continue doing that.
2.5.
smart about it. You got to recognize that you're going to have to do some incentives here in this country, tax incentives, regulatory incentives. But I want to make things here again. You know, I look around the country, there's parts of Iowa that have been hollowed out, particularly in the eastern part. And I've talked to folks and seen what that did for the community. We were sold a bill of goods by a lot of elites in this country that somehow putting China in the WTO and granting a most favored nation status was going to lead to our manufacturing exporting a bunch of stuff there. Instead, they've gobbled up so much more manufacturing. I don't think you can be a first-rate power unless you have a very strong industrial base. So we're going to do that here. We're going to work on workforce education. You know, not everyone needs to do a 4-year brick and ivy university. That's not the best way or only way for people to succeed. We're going to do skilled trades. We're going to do vocational. We've done that in Florida. It's going to be a really, really big thing. But I just think the middle of the country has to have those good paying jobs. And we can't put the interests of some of the people on Wall Street over the interests of Americans on Main Street.
Let's move on to Social Security. Let's move on to Social Security. According to the Social Security Administration, Social Security will be unable to pay full benefits in a decade if no action is taken. Governor DeSantis, you have said that you're not going to, quote, mess with Social Security, unquote. Does that mean you have committed to never raising the retirement age and never cutting benefits?
So all seniors out there, promise has been made to you. You've paid into this. Every single paycheck that you've had your entire life, they've taken money out of. And that promise needs to be fulfilled. So that will happen when I'm president. Of course, I have a lot of seniors in Florida that depend on Social Security. I know many of them. And I think back to my own grandmother who was lived till 91. Social Security was her sole source of income. So promise made, promise kept. You know, on the retirement age, you know, it used to be people would say, well, life expectancy is going up. Shouldn't it mirror that? Well, the problem now in the last 5 years is life expectancy is going down. So I don't see how you can raise the retirement age when our life expectancy is collapsing in this country. That's a huge problem in and of itself. I'll work with both sides of the aisle. We'll work on something for the long-term strengthening, but I am not going to mess with seniors' benefits. In this high inflation environment, groceries are going through the roof. Rent is going through the roof, all these staples, and you get a cost of living adjustment, but that's not enough to cover the costs that have been increased. So seniors are really strapped, particularly those that are on fixed income, and they have to know that we're going to deliver when it comes to their Social Security check. Now, we're going to get inflation down, get energy costs down. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to help seniors.
Oh my God. It's just coming in. It's coming in all choppy. It's coming in all choppy, Jesse. But I feel like that's what they say every election season.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like they keep saying that, but yet they keep fucking up shit.
But I think seniors should know promise made will be a promise kept.
So just a point of clarification, 15 seconds. Removing current seniors from the equation, you're not saying that you're committing to never raising the retirement age or cutting benefits.
I would never raise the retirement age in the face of declining life expectancy. I mean, I think that would be really bad. I mean, just think about it. That hurts blue collar folks.
Caveats.
You get taxed your entire life. Life expectancy.
He's talking about white life expectancy.
Yeah.
Is down, you may not even be recouping very many benefits. And so life expectancy is declining. That's a big problem.
Governor Haley.
3 years in a row, he voted to raise life expectancy to 70 years old. 3 years in a row. Go to DeSantisLies.com and you'll see it. So now.
Like what the fuck is the point of that? Like, I pray people live longer than 70 if, they can.
Well,
what's the cap? 65?
The average life expectancy for a black male in America is 69, 70 years old. So they're talking about crackers, and the life expectancy for crackers is like 78, 79. But he's saying it's lower, so it's probably like 46, 45, 74, something like that. It's still higher than us.
And so that has something to do with the fact if you're going to chip the fucking seniors or not. It's fucking crazy. The way she started off the conversation is crazy.
It's just that same prepackaged bullshit. It's just on the right hand side, opposed to the left. Ain't none of this pretending to us.
Nope.
Hey.
Like the whole debate, nothing.
Oh, suddenly he's going to tell you because he's running for president, he's not going to do it. You can't trust him. What I'll tell you is Social Security is going to go bankrupt in 10 years. Medicare is going to go bankrupt in 8. He talks about taking care of seniors. Right now, it's Florida is the inflation hotspot. It's the highest cost of living of any state in the country. Seniors are having to leave because they can't afford it. It's documented in DeSantisLies.com. What I'll tell you we have to do is we have to keep our promises to seniors, but we also can't put our head in the sand. For those like Ron saying they're not going to touch Social Security, that means they're going to leave after 4 or 8 years and leave it bankrupt? No. What we do is we go to those in their 20s and say we're going to change the retirement age to reflect life expectancy. Instead of cost of living increases, we do increases based on inflation. We limit benefits on the wealthy.
Thank you, Governor.
And we expand Medicare Advantage plans, which seniors love.
Thank you,
That's
Governor.
how we'll deal with making sure they have it.
Reducing the benefits, when you do the change in calculation, reducing the benefits. So let's just put this in perspective. Under her administration, you would have seniors getting less cost of living adjustments while your tax dollars are going to pay the pensions of Ukrainian bureaucrats.
That's not true.
You talk about putting
That's such a
Americans
lie,
last.
Ron.
That is wrong. You've supported all that money going over there. So let's put
You're
our
so
own people
desperate.
first. We
You're
have to
just
put
so
Governor Haley, let him
and she
speak.
also said, she said recently that the age of Social Security is way too low. And I criticized that. And then she was called on it. And then she said she never said it. Of course, you're lying. And then sure enough, you put on the interview where she's there, spit an image, and she says it's way too low. So, we can play this song and dance. She has a record. She makes statements. And I think part of the problem with her candidacy is now that she's getting scrutiny, she's got this problem with ballistic podiatry, shooting herself in the foot every other day, saying things that now she doesn't even take questions from people.
Thank you, Governor DeSantis. Governor Haley, you want to raise the retirement age for younger Americans, but you have not said what that age should be. Should voters in their 20s plan on working until they're 70?
First of all, he hasn't answered the fact that he voted to raise the retirement age to 73 different times. He can call me whatever name and be demeaning as much as he wants. It doesn't change the fact that Ron's lying because Ron's losing. Everybody in the country sees it for what it is. So what I'll tell you is, yes, we're going to be responsible with it, and we're going to go to those in our 20s. When I said the retirement age was too low, again, where he's lying, it's because if you go, and you can go to DeSantisLies.com, I said it's too low if we're going to look at those in their 20s. We have to go and start looking at what we can do to get out of this. We want to make sure that everybody who was promised gets it, but we also want to make sure
Raise
our
the cap.
kids have something when
Simple.
they get it too. So the way we do that is exactly how I laid it out. Then we'll know what we're looking at, and then we can start focusing. The other thing is we need to start cutting spending in DC. We have to go back to pre-COVID levels. That's why I'll veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID levels. That will save us.
A lot of words to not answer the
Every
question.
agency, replace the head of every agency, and send people into every agency. I did that as governor. Pull down old regs, pull down old programs, get rid of any problem children, and clean those agencies out and get them mission focused. There is a lot of waste in DC. You need an accountant to go in there and clean it up, but we're not going to take away from
There's a lot of waste.
and he's yet to answer the fact that he voted 3 times to raise the retirement.
Just a clarification, Governor Haley.
She also didn't
In
answer.
15 seconds, should voters in their 20s plan on having to work until they're 70?
They should plan on their retirement age being increased. Yes, we're going to change it to reflect more of what.
We got to work until we're dead.
One of the things that I think we disagree on too is Governor Haley has said Social Security is an entitlement. But it's not an entitlement. You're paying into it. It's not a welfare program. You're being taxed for this your whole life. And so to expect to have benefits on the back end, I don't think that
was a little sneak diss.
Social Security for
Not a welfare program, really.
What happened to those surpluses? The Congress spent the surpluses.
Yes, when you
they
raise
have a
the
big
debt.
problem with that. So number one, we need term limits for members of Congress. Number 2, we need a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Number 3, we need to give the president a line item veto. And number 4, when you see all these congressmen making a killing in the stock market, like Nancy Pelosi, she could run a very lucrative hedge fund. We need a 28th Amendment to the Constitution that says very simply, Congress shall make no law respecting the citizens of the United States that does not also apply to members of Congress themselves.
I want to turn now to the topic of abortion, which of course has been hotly debated in this Republican primary campaign. Governor Haley last week, Governor DeSantis said that former President Trump is not pro-life. Do you agree?
I mean, look, I think that he did some pro-life things when he was president. You'd have to ask him. That's why he should be on this debate stage. Don't ask me what President Trump thinks. You need to have him on this debate stage and ask him for yourself.
Governor DeSantis?
Well, look, I think that we've stood very strongly for a culture of life. Governor Reynolds is here. She has stood strongly for a culture of life and enact pro-life protection. We've done it in the state of Florida. Donald Trump has attacked that. What they did under Governor Reynolds here in Iowa, he said that that's a, quote, terrible, terrible thing. I don't know how you square that. He was at the March for Life when he was president his last year, and he said that life's a gift from God, that the unborn are made in the image of God, and that you needed to have protections for that human life. And now saying it's a terrible, terrible thing. He's given a gift to the left to weaponize that against pro-lifers, and that's wrong. But here's the thing. Republicans need to do a better job of lifting up folks who are having children. It's very difficult to raise kids in this environment. You need to help with medical care. You need to help with affordability, and we need to help with education choice. You got to be pro-life for the whole life, and you got to have some compassion for what is going on.
It was the Republicans who eliminated the child tax credit. It's the Republicans who cut Medicare and Medicaid, which helped children. It's the Republicans who eliminate SNAP, the benefits, half of which the benefits go to feed children. The idea that these people are pro-children defies logic.
You believe Governor Haley is sufficiently pro-life?
I think she's been confused on the issue. I think she's trying to speak to different groups with different things. But when she says things like pro-lifers need to stop talking about throwing women in jail, that's a trope. No one I've ever met thinks that that's something that's appropriate. These women are in vulnerable situations. They don't get any help a lot of times from these fathers who don't want to be there supportive. A lot of times they don't have resources themselves. So it's a very difficult situation. And we've got to have compassion for those situations. But I think when she starts bringing that in, that's using the language of the left to try to attack pro-lifers. So I think that is wrong. But at the end of the day, I do agree with her on this. Donald Trump should be on this stage. He owes it to you here in Iowa to explain this change he's had in his positioning, to explain why he has a tough time saying whether a man can become a woman or not, to explain why he wants to build a $1 billion plus big, beautiful new FBI building right in the heart of the swamp in Washington, D.C. He needs to explain why he didn't build the wall and why he added $7.8 trillion to the debt. Every candidate needs to earn your vote. Nobody's entitled to your vote. And he comes in here every now and then, he does his spiel, and then he leaves. I've shown up to all 99 counties because it's important. You're a servant of the people. You are not a ruler over the people. And that's the type of president that I will be for you.
Governor Haley, your response?
I didn't hear the criticism from Ron about me for being pro-life, but I'm not surprised. It's something that he does all day, every day. I am unapologetically pro-life, not because the Republican Party tells me to be, but because my husband is adopted. And I've got my 2 sweet children sitting in front of me, and I had trouble having both of them. These fellas don't know how to talk about abortion. I have said over and over again, the Democrats put fear in women on abortion, and Republicans have used judgment. This is too personal of an issue to put
Democrats
fear
are the
or
party
judgment.
of fear.
Our goal
Got
should
it.
be, how do we save as many babies as possible and support as many moms as possible? That's what we're going to focus on doing. We're not going to demonize this issue anymore. We're not going to play politics with this issue anymore. We're going to treat it like the respectful issue that it is. And the tropes that you want to talk about, you keep saying, where is anybody talking about putting a woman in jail or giving her the death penalty? South Carolina. There is legislation right now that would put a woman in jail if she got an abortion.
Thank you, Governor.
That's why I say that.
Thank you, Governor. So I do want to remind the viewers at home, both governors have mentioned that they believe that Donald Trump should be here defending his own record. I just want to remind everybody that he did qualify for this debate, and he did not accept our invitation. Both of you talk about how important it is to protect the U.S. Constitution. 2 years after losing the 2020 election, Donald Trump wrote on social media about his baseless election lies, quote, "A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution," unquote. On that subject, former Vice President Mike Pence has said that on January 6, 2021, Donald Trump put himself over the Constitution. Governor Haley, is there any meaningful difference in how you and Donald Trump view the Constitution?
I mean, look, you take an oath to the Constitution, and I think what you're seeing is Donald Trump basically said that the election was stolen. He went on and on talking about the election being stolen. He said that January 6th was a beautiful day. I think January 6th was a terrible day, and we should never want to see that happen. And I think we have to always be strong on the fact that, look, we want fair elections. And we saw some discrepancies in those elections in 2020 that should be concerning. That's why I passed voter ID in South. That's why I think when absentee ballots go out, you should be able to verify signatures. That's why I think ballots need to be counted on election day, and you should get results on election day. But that election, Trump lost it. Biden won that election. And the idea that he's gone and carried this out forever to the point that he's going to continue to say these things to scare the American people are wrong. We've seen a lot of states come together and do more election integrity bills. We need to do more than that. We still have 3 or 4 states that I'm worried about that don't have that. But at the end of the day, I will always defend and fight for the Constitution. That's what we should do as Americans. I think what happened on January 6th was a terrible day, and I think President Trump will have to answer for it.
So just a clarification, Governor. Is there any meaningful difference in how you and Donald Trump view the Constitution?
I mean, I think that he says January 6th was a beautiful day. I don't think it was a beautiful day. That he could go and bring in the fact that he wanted to change what the states did, the fact that he wanted to overturn the elections in D.C. Those votes happen at the state level. You don't ever allow in D.C. for those votes to be changed at the federal level. Governor. States' rights matter.
Thank you, Governor. Governor DeSantis, is there any meaningful difference in how you and Donald Trump view the Constitution?
My role model for how to do the Constitution is George Washington. He said the Constitution is the guide for abandon. And I remember when I took an oath to be an officer in the U.S. Navy.
Literally not going to answer the question.
You raise that hand.
Because the whole goal here is to kowtow to Trump and his supporters. So he's going to hit with the most delicate silk gloves.
But the oath simply says that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. As President of the United States, you will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. You can't just terminate the Constitution. I mean, I know he does, word vomit from time to time on social media, but obviously I will uphold the Constitution. And I think it's fine to criticize Donald Trump, and I know the media brings this up a lot. But you know who else deserves to be criticized? The people that violated the Constitution during COVID, to lock people out of schools, to destroy businesses, to force masks on people, to try to force vaccines. I'm going to bring a reckoning to all these.
So he's going to go on this tirade, this anti-woke tirade, and then Jake Tapper is going to ask him for clarification to actually answer the question, and then we'll have the lightest tap from DeSantis against Trump. Here we go.
Let's talk about how you view the powers of the presidency, because your opponent, Donald Trump, was in court yesterday for a hearing on presidential immunity. And Governor DeSantis, I'm wondering if you agree that Donald Trump's lawyer made in court that a president should have immunity for any conduct in office, including, as the judge asked, ordering the assassination of a political rival, unless the president gets impeached and convicted by the Senate for the offense first.
Well, obviously, that attorney gave the case away on that explanation. I think the D.C. Circuit is going to rule against Donald Trump on that issue. I'm not exactly sure what the outer limits are. I don't think it's necessarily been litigated. It's not going to be an issue with me because I'm always going to follow the Constitution, and we're going to uphold the best traditions of the office. And I'm going to be a president you can be proud of. I think it's important that people be able to look to the president and say,
just imagine if this dude was able to actually answer a question.
And so my wife and I, we just do ourselves to try to do well for our kids and to make sure they're proud of us. And we set a good example. So that's what we would do in that situation. But I think there's a larger issue Republicans have got to think of. Donald Trump's going to lose that appeal. He's going to end up going to trial. in front of a stacked left-wing DC jury of all Democrats. What are the odds that he's going to get through that? And that's not even talking about the validity of the charges. I don't think he gets through that. And so what are we going to do as Republicans in terms of who we nominate for president? If Trump is the nominee, it's going to be about January 6th, legal issues, criminal trials. The Democrats and the media would love to run with that. I'm not running for my issues. I'm running for your issues. We need to make this election a referendum on the failures of Joe Biden, the failures of the Democratic Party, and how we have the formula to engineer a great comeback for this country. That's what I would do.
Thank you, Governor. Governor Haley. Governor Haley, your response?
Not exactly a response.
I didn't hear the question.
The question was, do you agree with the argument Donald Trump's lawyer made in court that a president should have immunity for any conduct, including in ordering the assassination of a political rival, unless that president is impeached and convicted by the Senate for that offense first?
No, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we need to use some common sense here. You can't go and kill a political rival and then claim, you know, immunity from a president. I think we have to start doing things that are right. And, you know, Ron said we should have leaders that we can look up to. Well, then stop lying, because nobody's going to want to look up to you if you're lying. But what I do think we need to look at, you look at the last few years, and our country is completely divided. It's divided over extremes. It's divided over hate. It's divided over the fact that people think that if someone doesn't agree with you, that they're bad. And now we have leaders that decide who's good and who's bad, who's right and who's wrong. That's not what a leader does. What a leader does is they bring out the best in people and get them to see the way forward. That's what we need in our country. We don't need this chaos anymore. We need someone who's going to be a new generational leader that brings sanity back to America.
Thank you so much. The CNN Republican presidential debate live from Drake University. We'll be back right after this.
Okay, one issue that I wanted to talk about, first of all, for Ron DeSantis to equivocate on that question, this is a question that was brought up in the DC appeals court. Donald Trump is claiming that anything a president does while he's in office he's
what? What? Okay. Talking to myself.
And hospitals deciding what it is for us. We're going to take the patient out of the back seat and put them in the driver's seat. We're going to make sure that just like when you get your car fixed and you go and they say, we can give you a temporary fix and it'll cost this much money, or we can give you a permanent fix and it's going to cost that much money. We're going to go and make it transparent so that we can see everything, so that they have to show us their warts. The second thing is we're going to pass tort reform around this country. I did that in South Carolina. Doctors don't give you those 10 tests because they want to. It's for the 90% chance they'll get sued. And then we're going to go and eliminate certificate of need in this country. I did that in South Carolina as well. That basically says if you have a hospital here, you can't have another hospital for X number of miles. They do the same thing for surgical centers, for nursing homes. We're going to put competition back in healthcare so that healthcare is fighting for the patient. That way services go up and costs go down.
Governor Haley, just a 15-second point of clarification. Would you allow the states that accepted Medicaid expansion to keep that?
So the problem with Medicaid is it needs to be sent down as block grants. Governors can best decide how to do that, whether they need to use it towards mental health, whether they need to use it towards support services. Right now, I would send all of that down to the states. The problem is they're only sending a small portion of it. They need to send more of that so the states can better take care of it.
Governor DeSantis, your response on whether you would allow Iowa and the other 39 states who accepted Medicaid expansion to keep it?
Well, I've spoken with a lot of folks here in Iowa, and we need health care that's accessible, that's affordable, and that's accountable, and particularly an emphasis on mental health. In every corner of this state, everywhere I've traveled in the campaign, people are really concerned about mental health with the kids in schools, people that are coming out of service to our country, with veterans. We're going to put a big emphasis on mental health. I've actually delivered on some of these things in Florida. We got accountability for the pharmacy benefit middlemen that are causing your drug prices to go up. So we have transparency and consumers pay less. And I just beat the federal government to allow the state of Florida to buy prescription drugs from Canada, which is 25 cents on the dollar what our prescription drugs cost. I want seniors to be able to do. And then finally, we need to upend this COVID and medical authoritarian regime that we saw going around this country during COVID. It's wrong to force vaxes like the COVID shot and say people are going to lose their jobs. That is not going to ever happen on my watch. Trust me.
Governor DeSantis, the same.
I think what you do is you block grant the program and then let states run the way they see fit to do. But I can tell you this, expanding Medicaid leads to less private coverage. It doesn't necessarily increase access to quality care. I want to actually people get good health care. It's not just about a sheet of paper. If you don't get any good doctors, that gives you entitled for that.
Governor DeSantis mentioned mental health. Let's talk about that. There is a mental health crisis in this country. An estimated 58 million Americans suffer from some type of mental illness. Governor Haley, you say the mental health crisis is a, quote, cancer that no one has dealt with. What do you think is causing the crisis, and what would you do to fix it?
Well, I think we saw it exacerbated by COVID. I mean, with the school lockdowns and everything else, we see young people now with more anxiety, stress, and depression than ever before. 1 in 3 people right now suffer from mental health issues. But if treated, they can live a perfectly normal life. The problem is we don't have enough mental health therapists. We don't have enough mental health treatment centers. We don't have enough addiction centers. And if you happen to be lucky enough to get one of those 3, insurance doesn't cover it. We have got to start dealing with this because it's become a huge issue. And that's why we need to have more telehealth so that people can get the mental health care they need right when they need it. We need to have mental health counselors in schools so they can identify when a child has a problem, that they can get the help that they need. But right now, we've got to get access to care. And that's, again, why I want to move those federal programs down to the state level, because states know they need more mental health support. They're not getting the dollars to do it. We don't need DC bureaucrats handling that. We need this on the ground so that we can get the mental health centers, get the therapists, and get the help that people need so that they can be healthy again.
Governor DeSantis, you said right here in Iowa this summer that closing mental health institutions, a policy supported by Ronald Reagan, was a mistake. As president, would you restore federal funding to those mental health institutions?
Yes, we need more people in institutionalized settings, unfortunately. But, you know, Governor Haley mentioned, I think correctly, the devastating mental health consequences from school closures, a lot of things that happened during COVID. I never recalled seeing her out there fighting the fight. I was on the front lines on that. Governor Kim Reynolds was on the front lines on that. We fought back against the biomedical state. We were attacked by the media. We were attacked by the pharmaceutical companies. We were attacked by the left, attacked by Fauci. We stood and we helped people. And Iowa and Florida had the best schools opening in the entire pandemic because we led. That's what you want to do. Now, in terms of mental health, I've run into veterans here in Iowa, and I think we have a significant problem with veterans, particularly the post 9/11 veterans. And we know the stats on suicide. It's really, really sad. And as a fellow veteran, as president, I have to put that issue on the front burner. We can't keep turning a blind eye to what's happening to our vets. It's not going to be done just through the VA, and it can't be done just by pumping people with pharmaceuticals. If a veteran has post-traumatic stress, you need more than just that. So we're going to use the VA to link veterans with resources that are throughout our country. For example, in Florida, we have an organization that trains service dogs to be able to be paired with veterans with post-traumatic stress. They understand the symptoms, they mitigate it, and you know what? The suicide rate is close to 0 as a result of that. We got to think bigger than these bureaucracies, and we've got to be there for our vets and their mental health.
Thank you, Governor. Turning to the topic of climate, 2023 was the hottest year ever recorded on Earth, and Americans are already feeling the impact. Just yesterday, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration reported that the U.S. experienced 28 weather and climate-related disasters that cost at least $1 billion last year, another record. Governor DeSantis here in Florida, Governor DeSantis here in Iowa, massive flooding has left farmers underwater. In Florida, rising seas threaten coastal cities. You have taken action in your home state to mitigate the problems of rising seas. But as president, would you do anything to deal with the underlying cause, which scientists agree requires cutting carbon emissions?
So on day one as president, we take Biden's Green New Deal, we tear it up and we throw it in the trash can. It is bad for this country. We have to have reliable energy. And here's the thing, you know, they talk about, Joe Biden has said that global warming is worse than a nuclear war. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, gee, John Kerry hasn't given up his private jet. Obama hasn't given up his Martha's Vineyard seaside mansion. I haven't seen Biden do anything to hold China accountable, except making sure that Hunter gets his money. So these guys talk out of one side of their mouth and then they behave in another way. And I think that's wrong. But I also think that those policies would devastate communities, particularly here in Iowa. I mean, for example, he wants to mandate electric vehicles. That's going to be more costly. I think the car companies would go bankrupt, but it's going to hurt liquid fuels, which is very, very important. You're going to end up having rolling blackouts if they kneecap reliable energy production in this country. Florida's had a massive decline in emissions. Wasn't because of a single mandate. It was because of innovation, because a lot of natural gas has replaced coal. We do have market-based solar, and it's a complement, but we cannot walk away from reliable energy. And I think about, here's what the left wants to do. They want to take away your freedom, and they want you to pay more for everything. We need you to pay less for energy, and we need to make sure people can innovate. We cannot have these mandates, and they'll be gone the day I'm president.
So, Governor, just a point of clarification, 15 seconds. Recent research at the University of Iowa ties these floods in Iowa to the rise in greenhouse gases.
And here's the thing,
let me just ask the question. As president, would you do anything to deal with this underlying cause?
Innovate. And here's the thing. China is building 2 coal plants a week. You can do everything Biden wants to do, and you're going to have way more of what China's increasing it. So why would we be cutting off our nose to spite our face? China is the problem here, and so hold them accountable.
Thank you,
Don't
Governor.
hold the American people.
Thank you, Governor. Governor Haley, as president, would you do anything to deal with the underlying cause of the flood and other climate disasters, which scientists agree requires cutting carbon emissions?
I mean, first of all, regardless of what party, everybody wants to have clean air, clean water. They want a world that they can pass on to their kids that's going to be healthy and all of that. But it's how do we do that?
I don't know if she knows
I think
what
the
party
first
she's
thing we
in.
have to understand is we don't deal in extremes. When I was at the United Nations, the reason I took us out of the Paris Climate Agreement was because President Obama had put all these mandates down on our businesses, but they didn't do anything to hold China and India to account. Those are the 2 countries we have to really go to if we care about the environment, that we go and make them be held accountable. The second thing is we'll roll back all of Biden's green subsidies because they're misplaced. Rather than putting anything
Yeah, that'll help the environment.
on what we can do on nuclear fusion and other things that reduce emissions.
Ask if she'll roll back any of the fossil fuel
To
subsidies.
go and have everybody have to drive an electric car by 2035. That's not even smart. One, because, which by the way, Ron took Biden's stimulus money and did charging stations all throughout Florida. I wouldn't have taken the stimulus money. But what that does is basically we don't have the infrastructure. And I'm not just talking about charging stations. Electric vehicles are heavy. Our roads and bridges
Luckily,
wouldn't be
she
able
can have the infrastructure because the Inflation Reduction Act gave enough money for 500,000 charging stations across the U.S.
of the batteries in electric cars are made in China. So Biden gave this massive windfall to our #1 national security threat. If we're going to do it, innovate it, transition, and do it the right way, not in extremes.
Thank you. I want to turn to the issue of crime. The majority of Americans describe crime in the U.S. as either extremely or very serious. Recent data show crime rates falling, but some violent crime rates do remain high. Governor Haley, former President Trump suggested that he might try to stop violent crime by deploying U.S. troops to Democratic-run states and cities, something he could potentially do under the Insurrection Act. Is that something that you would do as president?
What I would do is, first of all, defund sanctuary cities. It's hugely important that we do that. That's where we're seeing a lot of crime. But the second thing is, our law enforcement is demoralized right now. Because if they go and they arrest someone for having a stolen gun, it's demoralizing when they go through all that effort, put their lives at risk, and then you turn around and let that criminal go the very next day. Prosecutors need to prosecute according to the law, and we've got to start holding them accountable. When we bring law and order back to our cities, then that's when they'll be safe. You don't do it by defunding the police, and you don't do it by just praising the police. You do it by having their backs, making sure we pass the first body camera bill in the country in South Carolina to make sure that law enforcement felt like they could do their job without feeling threatened about them doing their job. But we have to have prosecutors prosecuting. We have to defund sanctuary cities. We have to get these stolen guns and drugs off the street. And the only way we can do that is when we empower law enforcement.
Governor
I
DeSantis.
just think, that quote from the president, former President Trump, is a little bit rich because he was president during the worst rioting in the modern history of this country, the BLM riots in the summer of 2020. When I saw that happening in Minneapolis, in Florida, I called out the National Guard. We had state law enforcement deployed. We said, you're not burning down our cities in this state. And you know what? It didn't happen. He sat in the White House and tweeted law and order, but he did nothing to ensure law and order. As your president, I will never let our cities burn. You have every right to stop this runaway rioting as president. In fact, you have a duty. Now, Nikki Haley and I have a disagreement on the BLM stuff too, because she tweeted during this period of time that the death of George Floyd should be, quote, personal and painful for each and every American. But people in Iowa had nothing to do with that, or Florida or South Carolina. She was virtue signaling to the left. She was accepting the narrative, and she was trying to impress people who were never going to like us. I never bought into going after the police. We back the blue to the hill in the state of Florida, and we're have lower crime as a result of that.
Thank you, Governor Haley.
Come on, man.
It's interesting that he did that. He put a tweet that was very similar, but let me tell you why I did that. First of all, we had one of the worst two racial shootings. We had the shooting of Walter Scott, who was shot 7 times in the back by a dirty cop. We had a horrific shooting at a church where a white supremacist came in and killed 9 amazing souls. BLM, all of that, we never had to deal with riots. We never had to call in the National Guard, Ron, because when we had both of those shootings, we were able to pull people together. We didn't have riots. We had vigils. We didn't have protests. We had prayer. We brought people together. When I said that about George Floyd, when we turned around and had the worst shooting in a religious place that we had seen in this country, not only did I pass the first body camera bill in the country and keep our state together, not only did I move to bring the Confederate flag down, we came together as a state in prayer, and we had no division, no riots, no anything. We didn't need the National Guard.
Thank you, Governor.
Because a leader knows how to bring out the best in their people.
Thank you, Governor. So
Oh,
you have been sparring campaign trail for months. We've seen some vicious attack ads going back and forth, and tonight we have had a very lively debate. On a different note, Governor DeSantis, let me ask you, what do you admire about Governor Haley?
Well, look, I mean, I think that, at the United Nations, I did think that she spoke out strongly on some key issues, and I appreciated that. I also appreciate the state of South Carolina. My wife is a College of Charleston graduate. Her parents lived there for many, many years. And so it is a wonderful state. There's a lot of great people there. And I think to be able to have been governor there is a great achievement. And I really appreciate everyone I've gotten to meet in South Carolina.
Governor Haley, what do you admire about Governor DeSantis?
I think he's been a good governor.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're going to squeeze in another quick break, and we'll be right back with more from the Republican debates here at Drake University.
We had a struggle for a minute.
Okay, so I have some beef with a question that had passed earlier, and I believe it was in this this latest segment. But that was this question, the response about what's happening in the courts right now. And Donald Trump was asked by the DC Circuit Court of Appeals, Donald Trump's attorney was asked by the DC Circuit Court of Appeals whether a president should have immunity. If a president has immunity on all issues, the natural conclusion of that is that they could even seek to have their political opponent assassinated, and there's nothing that that anybody could do to stop it. And so Nikki Haley, to her credit, at least has the moral clarity on this issue. And mind you, this is a low bar, like a low bar to be able to say, of course not. Of course, a president shouldn't be treated like a king in this country where they're allowed to have their political opponent assassinated with carte blanche unless they meet some imaginary threshold that the Trump lawyers just cooked up, where the only way that you could be subject to criminal prosecution is if you're also impeached by the House and convicted by the Senate. Those things aren't prerequisites to criminal conviction. Like, a president has immunity from civil lawsuits, and rightfully so, I think. But when it comes to criminal violations, the notion that a president has carte blanche really does betray this idea that anybody making this argument or defending this argument thinks that a president is above the law. So to Nikki Haley's credit, at least she was able to say, like, let's have some common sense here. No, of course a president shouldn't be protected from criminal prosecution if he seeks to have his political opponent assassinated. Like, of course not. Ron DeSantis's answer was,
well, does that mean,
and this is a quote,
what about
I'm not exactly sure what the outer limits are. I mean, my God, it doesn't get more bereft of moral clarity and courage like than that answer. This is just the matter of whether a president in the United States of America should be treated like a king, is completely above the law, is not subject to criminal statutes and the Constitution. Ron DeSantis is so afraid, even as he continues sinking in the polls, as he has no support, as he as the only person really standing between him and the Republican nomination is Donald Trump himself, is so afraid of being on the wrong side of Donald Trump or his supporters, even as that guy is the only person standing between him and the nomination, although Nikki Haley is now lapping him because of this very absence of moral clarity and courage. But like so afraid of being on the wrong end of like Trump supporters that even on the issue of like standing up and saying that we shouldn't have a king in this country, this guy can't find enough of a spine to just say, what? No, a president doesn't have complete immunity to break the law and be like, and have his political opponent assassinated. That is who Ron DeSantis is. So like he beats his chest and stands up there and acts like a tough guy. He talks down to like students and people who wear masks and like the Florida media, or the handpicked media, whoever he allows, deigns to allow to talk to him. But like, if you want to know whether Ron DeSantis actually has a modicum of courage, of spine, that answer pretty much gives the entire ball game away. That he can't come forward and say that Donald Trump, of course, is not protected by complete immunity, even in instances where he's going to have his political opponents assassinated. So it looks like the debate will be ending soon. Again, for those watching right now, if you are not yet subscribed to this channel and want to continue following along these debates, I'll continue to host them. But to support this channel, to support these live streams, please make sure to subscribe. I think about half of those watching right now aren't yet subscribed. So for those of you who aren't yet subscribed to this channel, if you appreciate the fact that I'm live streaming this, and if you want to catch subsequent debates as they happen in the future, because I know fewer and fewer channels are hosting them, please make sure to subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything. And again, that's the best way to support what I do. So it looks like we are moments away from this debate coming back. Here we go.
We're back live from Des Moines, Iowa, and the CNN Republican presidential debate. We now have time for closing statements, and we begin with Governor Haley.
First of all, I want to thank the good people of Iowa. I have campaigned for 11 months, whether it's driving a combine or holding a pig at a produce area, or whether it's the fact that we've met owners of bakeries and small businesses. You know, every one of them knows that we can't go through 4 more years of chaos. And if it's Donald Trump, there will be 4 more years of chaos. And we can't be a country in disarray and a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos. And we can't go through another nail biter of an election. And if you look at the polls right now, going against Joe Biden, in every one of those head-to-head polls, Ron doesn't beat Joe Biden. Trump is head-to-head. On a good day, he might be up by 2 points. I defeat Biden by 17 points. That's bigger than the president. That's House, that's Senate, that's governorships, that's down to school board. That's a mandate to get our spending under control and get inflation down. That's a mandate to get our kids reading again and go back to the basics in education. That's a mandate to secure our borders with no more excuses. That's a mandate to bring law and order back to our country. And that's a mandate for a strong America that we can be proud of. We can do this. I know we can do this. If you will join with me in this movement, if you join with me in this fight, I promise you our best days are to come. God bless you.
Governor DeSantis.
Well, it's been great to visit all 99 counties here in Iowa. I've been able to meet so many friends and really learn about some of the best of America. Iowa's votes do not need to be corrected by any other state. You all know what you're doing. And we have an opportunity in Monday to really change the course of history. Donald Trump's running for his issues. Nikki Haley's running for her donors' issues. I'm running for your issues, your family's issues, and solely to turn this country around. I'm the only one running that's delivered on 100% of my promises, and I'm the only one running that has beaten the left time and time again, from the teachers' unions to Fauci to the Democratic Party. We need to run under the banner of bold colors that are putting the American people first. We can't run under a banner of pale pastels of the warmed over corporatism, the likes of which is practiced by Nikki Haley. Freedom is on the ballot. Decline is a choice. We have it within our power to fix this country and to turn it around. I am asking for your support in the Iowa caucus on Monday, January 15th. I'll be a president that you can be proud of, and I promise you this, I will get the job done, and I will not let you down. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Our thanks to Governor DeSantis and Governor Haley. Governor DeSantis and Governor Haley, thank you so much, both of you, for being here tonight. Thanks to our audience, to our host, Drake University. For Dana Bash and the whole CNN team, I'm Jake Tapper. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to join us Monday, January 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern for CNN's coverage of the Iowa caucuses. Anderson Cooper and Caitlin Collins are going to pick it up right now with more on the debate. See you tomorrow.
For personal purposes. But just stop it right here. Yeah, I like that. I don't know. They're basically already choosing for everybody. So it looks like didn't you have a town hall or some shit? Yeah, a town hall, right?
Yeah, it was a town hall. Yeah, the dump, as in human shit, had a separate town hall while all this was going on. Shout out to the viewers. Appreciate y'all staying up late with us.
Yeah. I don't see it right now currently.
Are you trying to pull up the town?
Let's find out some highlights. Like, I can't sit through Trump talking. You know what I mean? Like, I can't sit through it. Can we just watch some highlights? Like, let's just look real quick. I'm gonna look real quick while I'm over here looking. And just see, just so we can. I can feel like we kind of tapped on both sides. Well, both people, both groups, and I don't know. All three people, I guess.
Yesterday, we did see a very short-term rally for $40,000.
Okay, send me the link. What's this? Okay, right now? All right.
Earlier. This is from
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's good. All right. Let's do that then. Let's do that. Just pause it up. That's it. Let's do that then. Thank you everybody for watching and staying up with us to watch the RNC.
It looks like
nothing. Say what?
Like Bad Salami had a rally too.
I know you're talking shit. But I'm seeing him do a rally. Send it over.
Bad Salami, he had a rally.
And I thought we were closing out. You want to run it real fast? Is it long? It's like highlights, clips.
I think it's highlights.
Because it's really cold. I can't do it. Let's just put it down for like tomorrow. You know what I mean? We'll put it together and do it tomorrow. If it's quick, you're not even listening. If it's quick, you know what I mean?
They all know about it. Every one of them has since been asked about it. Thank you to the hard work of the likes of Steve King and many of you here at the Free Soil Project who have worked tirelessly to actually raise this issue to the forefront of our national.
I can't even hear. It's like
Steve actually asked me if I was supposed to do it. You know, I said it's the right thing to do. I made a pledge to Steve
captions or something.
at the Republican Presidential debate.
Put up the caption.
Talking about this issue. Kathy Stockdale, others who have given up for years today. Brought up your stories on a national stage because
what do you do? I can hear it over there.
you are facing now.
I can't even hear you doing it.
And what we've heard really silence from everybody else on this issue.
For like
so today on January 10th, I'm telling you, January 15th is the Iowa caucus. I'm asking you for your help.
He's asking for what?
The other side coalesces. I don't think the other side is Democrats. Republican versus Democrat, or Republican Party is at least as bad as the Democrats on this issue. Right? This is the Republicans versus Democrats. This is the Great Reset.
I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. No.
I could care less about white versus white, Republican versus Democrat.
I thought you were
our Constitution or our sovereignty. What's the point? The rest of it doesn't matter.
Either you or the
firsthand. The other side coalesces. The people who write the checks. They endorse each other. They write their checks and they actually scratch each other's backs.
But I think he's lying, regardless of what he's saying.
Because people write checks. The most powerful people in the state, the governors who choose to not only be opposed to the carbon, not only favor eminent domain for the carbon capture pipeline, but tell the people they endorse to make sure that they adopt the same positions too.
Where's that?
It's hard to
Iowa.
Even Iowa didn't come to. He didn't qualify for the fucking debate.
Nope, I'm in the rallies.
What I'm saying here today, we have the freedom to actually.
For all that money, like, what are you doing?
We can't just go on in our life on January 15th.
They do.
You know, I don't feel this carbon capture pipeline issue, but when it comes, I vote for.
Get on board like how they do it.
Candidates here today who have had the courage to stand here for you. And so
all the people are feeling any of them. Okay? You know they're paying out their pocket, especially cost so much.
They know rights. They know how to get their agenda passed, and they will support and prop up the puppets who advance their agenda. I'm nobody's puppet. I'm not here to ask for process. The ones that give me I'm grateful for, and we take it. We can't just be here today and then go home and say, call themselves a Republican, and then we see no change, and you're going to build that pipeline right across not only the backyards of farmers in this state, but then it goes to everybody else across this country too. That's the hardship our Republican Party needs to wake up to. Our party has become lazy. We have lost what we actually stand for. We can criticize the left, we can offer our standard talking points, but when push comes to shove on the hard issues, ask yourself, why I'm the only candidate who can say certain things to you.
What?
Pharmaceutical companies of their special liability exemptions for vaccine manufacturers, because it's the right thing to do for this country.
I think as much as he's saying is like gain the respect that he is asking.
After 5 failed years of leadership, the only person who will tell you that I'm not going to build some new grand building for the FBI, but that I'm going to get in there and shut it down. Because it's the right thing to do for this country.
This is my opinion, but in my opinion, that kind of give me like the this Owen vibe. It just kind of gives me that feeling.
Every peaceful January 6th protester on my first day in office, because it's the right thing to do for the United States of America. We stand for the citizens of this country, not any other one, the United States of America.
Again, not meant to you black people.
You see that sign over?
Revolution.
So I'm asking you on January 15th to do the right thing.
I can't really hear it or see it, but I saw some of the sign.
Don't vote for somebody who looks the other way in the
As soon as it ends, I'll clear these streaming.
If you want somebody who's going to get there and shut down the deep state, somebody who's actually going to speak truth to power.
Oh my God, ain't none of y'all gonna do that.
That doesn't sound like their talking points anyway.
It's not their talking points.
Exactly. I know.
I'm trying to sound like a Democrat. That's Democrat talking.
Black people talking points.
Well, he's trying that too, but black people are the base of the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you promise at the holiday, and I'm here to reiterate, and I will keep it. Regardless of what happens in this election.
He's Indian.
Are you eating too? Eating.
I'm snacking.
Okay.
Yes.
What are you snacking on, cuz? Jesus Christ, why do you have an attitude? What are you snacking on, Jesse?
Peanuts.
I hate when we're live, cuz. I hate when we're live. Go ahead, please.
Into this country 40 years ago. We're in the face of our life. This is now about passing that on to our kids. I said it in Des Moines a couple of months ago. I'm going to say it in Des Moines again today.
So I'm actually eating
what happens in this election.
So fucking cool.
With Steve King and Steve Holt and the Free Soil Project to see us through, to make sure
Salami.
for this country to sue and to work, to the Supreme Court and to stand for justice for landowners in this state and across this country.
Nobody's really thrown some shit at them, like. For real.
Like the Arabs did George Bush Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Get off the stage, bitch. Like, ain't nothing like that, you know? Don't got time for your lies.
Look at the flags behind them.
We are up against the other side, not just in our party, not just beyond our party. The other side, the side that favors the Great Reset, that will favor each other and push us.
Great Reset.
In our movement, the movement that's in here today,
yes.
The actual true future America First movement. We can't say what we say today and then show up on January 15th and do something different. The America First agenda does not belong to one man. It does not belong to Donald Trump. It does not belong to me. It belongs to you, to us, to we the people of this country. So I ask you to do the right thing.
To white America, not the black first agenda.
We will not stop when we get to the White House. This will be a day one item to make sure that we have an executive order that stops the flow of funds to any private company that's using eminent domain, and that includes this state. 45Q, 45Z, out the window, it doesn't matter on my watch. You have my word on that on day one, but I'm asking you to do your part.
You have no word. Your word is not a bond, Bad Salami.
Are you again? Well, I gave you my
Oh, you again.
I give it to you again. What would you like to say?
What was the cause of the Civil War?
He didn't even talk about that.
She's asking a question I think is a fair question. I acknowledge it's a fair question. I want to repeat it so everybody can hear it. We're here to oppose the CO2 pipeline. Yes, we're not other kinds of pipelines, such as the Keystone Pipeline or otherwise in this country. This requires us to get to truth. What is true? This is why I said, start with the fact that the climate change agenda is a hoax.
Oh my God.
So,
the contention.
I'm gonna make a deal with you. I'm gonna make a deal. We're in the State House with House.
Just has some fucking weird shit happening and shit.
Yeah.
This is not about the LGBTQ. And you can clearly tell this broad is making that shit up.
Oh yeah.
What's the child over? He's like, this broad was like LGBTQ. They're like, God, dude, a lot of motherfucking gay people, or whatever, and they got this shit down pat. They're remotely awkward about this.
He thinks you're all stupid. He's lying to you. Look at me. You need to understand that this man thinks you're stupid. He thinks that he's lying to himself, but he can't. This girl are destroying my future. How can you look at your children in their eyes and tell them you're killing their future? I'm seeing it happen all across America. I'm seeing it happen here, and it's happened to my country. William posts all pipelines, regardless.
Look at the camera person.
We agree on free speech and open debate. She has the right to speak her mind. And any opinion is fair game in the United States of America. Now, for my part, I disagree with your opinion. I think that the climate change agenda absolutely is a hoax because it has nothing to do with the climate. I'm going to state some hard facts.
Yeah, you just pass the mic around. That's what happens when you put the mic go.
So the planet is not warming up.
Hi! You're a lot.
Questioning the climate disaster-related death rate in the last century. That's a hard fact. There's more green surface area around the Earth today than there was a century ago because carbon dioxide is planted.
I got all kind of jokes. We're not live. Oh my goodness.
Rally in Des Moines, Iowa, concerning a Tier 2 pipeline. Just moments ago, you heard a heckler take the mic, ask a question, and basically say that the policies are in line with
just yelling at
and all of this climate change concept, where a lot of new generation of folks are thinking that
any of that, but although I can't barely hear it from your end. They just look pretty aggressive, like.
Here we have a.
Look, here's another one. I didn't hear this yelling and shit. Look at how angry. Look at the Rangers. And this is never like that's gonna protect you. Look, they got the people on stage.
Questions.
Oh my god! I needed to these motherfuckers. These are like Asian folk, or the last. I don't know. Look at them. They look different.
I think that's my death in my community. I pledge to you to end crony capitalism of all forms in the United States of America. That's my pledge to you. As the oil industry, and I want to finish, as the oil industry lobby for special exemption,
Like raise their fist to that like that.
That's unjust masculine against it. Are there violations of private property rights for reasons that go beyond the CO2 pipeline? You're darn right there is. Pfizer should not be stealing somebody's home in Connecticut to build over that line a plant for Pfizer which they never actually built. So I stand for all forms of protecting against private property rights, but I will swear oath to the Constitution and keep it, including the Fifth Amendment, which says it must be for a public use. A private company.
Vivek Ramasamy going to continue to answer questions we expect here at this rally. We do have to step away for a quick live now. Fox much more coverage on this live event.
What in the hell is he talking about?
Fox News.
That is not what the Fifth Amendment said.
No, it's not. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I was just making up shit. But I just need to hear him getting yelled at more. Like, can we go back to that where he's getting yelled at? Minus the, the live now Fox interpreter. That was pretty tight. Look here, you're lying, bitch.
A partner that 8 p.m. p.m. Eastern, 5
Yeah,
p.m.
we just
Pacific time. You
watched.
can see it there on your
All right,
screen.
let's close it out. Close it out. Don't go. Close it out. Thank you everybody for watching Front Line Blacc News Special Edition. Chit, Just Bears, myself, I guess I was invited guest, Shabaka, and Jay Militant for jumping up on the panel. It was nice of him. Glad he had some time. Glad Shabaka had some time. And thank you for everybody who stopped in and viewed the stream. It was like a grip of you. Thank you. So you ain't ever seen here, but they good looking out. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for hanging out, watching the RNC with us, and a little bit of that whatever that was with ramen noodles. And yeah, so we're gonna do some further research, but it's getting late. It's super fucking cold in Denver, so we're gonna shut this down right now. Obviously, nothing was talked about for us, specifically Foundation of Black Americans, however you fucking want to word it, since everybody's on some sort of title shit going on. We got some shit going on. I don't know, not us, it's them. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and close this out, and we will come back probably sometime tomorrow. Me and Jesse will devise a diabolical plan to bring you the news. You can see what's going on. And tune into the RVA where I have some stuff going on too. I just can't do it tonight because there's no I can't keep myself warm, so I gotta go. So we will me and Jesse will devise a very diabolical plan to show you what's going on in politics and what we're talking about with other people we're looking at, and what obviously what the new black media thinks, since that's most important.
Mm-hmm.
So stay black, stay dangerous, stay favored. Jesse, what do you guys think?
Everything you said and then some. Keep your head on swivel, black family, and continue to demand something tangible for your vote. As you can clearly see, the Republicans aren't offering us nothing, and neither are the Democrats. So sit it out or vote third party.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see y'all on Friday for Grand Rises with Shabaka on Blog Talk Radio, and also
Before that, we'll be coming again. Probably tomorrow, either together as a group or either way. I'm going to show the RVA, but we still have the Trump town hall to run, and we got a couple other things we can show you that Jesse can we can divide the plan host or whatever, so that we can continue with this RNC conversation. We want Jesse.
Yeah, sounds good, Lady Che.
I'm gonna hang up. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna hang up. And everybody, sleep well. Don't freeze to death, anybody. Stay black, stay dangerous. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for viewing Frontline Blacc News Special Edition, the RNC debate. Thank you.
Republican debate, yeah.
Yeah, what did I say? RNC.
Yeah, it's not the RNC yet. It's not yet.
Oh yeah, whatever. Republican primary or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. I lost the title of it. All I know is they weren't talking about it.
The Republican Presidential debate number 5.
It's the primary, right?
No.
What?
No, primary is not till March.
My fault. Republican Presidential number 5.
Debate number 5, yeah.
Debate number 5. Oh God. Word salad. It's number 5, and we are now at the last two and a half. Does ramen noodles count to the half? Because he wasn't there. Just kidding. Yeah, that's number 5. But
yeah.
Oh well. Sorry, Belly. I'm just really cold. I can't really think.
We have not had one debate And they don't plan on having no debates.
But that's it's not something right now, but I'll show you in a minute. I feel like this. I would like to see. I don't really give a fuck what they're talking about because whatever they're talking about is not important to me. But neither is this, right? But I would like to see where their mindset is at the least. Like the third party candidates, they're not really like talking to each other either.
Yeah. They
So
have a debate too. The independents.
Right. I feel like that's a much needed thing. Maybe that could be like surely can they pull it all? Can everybody pull it together? Can we have a virtual one?
I mean, we have the technology for it, so I don't see why it couldn't go down.
I mean, old ass fucking Joe Biden, he can stay up for a little bit.
Biden just gonna get on the Zoom so he can talk down to black people.
With that rough fucking. I did it.
You ain't black if you don't vote for me.
But shit, you see when he went to the church, right?
Yeah.
And that's terrible. Professor Black Truth covered it.
Yep.
I was like, man, this shit is fucking. When I heard a booing and then the chanting, I was like, what? You're supposed to be over here for something else.
And then somebody was chanting. I heard they were chanting 4 more years. Like, who paid these dumb motherfuckers?
That and the Palestine shit. And the Palestine shit. Because I think you were there when you were waking up or whatever when I played it the first time. I was like, what? Who said that? And I looked around the room like, huh? Am I hearing shit? 4 more years? What the fuck? It's fucking. It's a bass rock moment.
It's a blues moment. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me close the show. Peace, everybody. We'll be back probably tomorrow. Where we have a diabolical plan to bring you what these fools are talking about.
Right.
It's nefarious, family. It's obviously the plan of the devil. Raise your black fist. It's fucking evil.
The devil in his blue eyes.
Black first.
Black first.
Right. That's the best line. All right. Let me close it out. Don't go to work. Okay.